Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. For the second time in his 5 NFL seasons, the season ends early for 49ers defensive end Nick Bosa because of a torn ACL. He tore his ACL yesterday, needs season-ending surgery. Without Bosa, the Niners defense will be even more dependent on young players and new additions. Giants coach Brian Daboll today would not commit to Russell Wilson remaining his starting quarterback, told reporters they're working through all personnel decisions and evaluating everything. The change to rookie Jackson Dart, though, likely waits at least another week, says Rich Eisen show host Rich Eisen.
And I'll tell you one thing, Giants fans. You know who you're not seeing next week? It's Jackson Dart. Because coming in are the 3-0 Los Angeles Chargers. And you want to talk about defenses that are making everybody look silly. It's them. Week 5 at New Orleans, that's a different story. Right. Maybe you see Jackson Dart in New Orleans and just roll with it and see what happens.
Cowboys receiver CeeDee Lamb could miss 3 to 4 weeks with a high left ankle sprain. Auburn men's basketball coach Bruce Pearl stepped down. Associate head coach Stephen Pearl succeeds his dad as the Tigers' new head coach.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Tuesday, the Eagles are clearly the #1 team in my power rankings. But how will the rest of the top 5 shake out? It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from downtown Baton Rouge.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Tigers win, Saints lose. Have a feeling we're going to say that on a lot of Mondays this year. Peter Burns, 1 hour from right now. Ross Jackson in hour 3. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Nussmeier drops back, forced out of the pocket, moving to his left, looking downfield, eyes downfield, throws back in the end zone. Caught by Xavier Thomas. Touchdown, Fighting Tigers.
And with that, does anyone have any questions about Nuss's torso? We good? Are we good with the torso now? LSU beat Southeastern 56-10, and I understand you don't celebrate a blowout against an FCS opponent. We're not throwing a ticker tape parade because the Tigers scored on 8 consecutive possessions against the school from Hammond, America. I understand that fully. Not sitting here sunshine pumping and telling you the Tigers are going to win the Natty, cold poosh poosh. The flip side of it is, however, if you didn't play that well, if you didn't blow them out, we'd be sitting here today with very real concerns. And I think a lot of people had at least some of those concerns alleviated for a week anyway, with the way that LSU played, with the way that Garrett Nussmeier threw the football, stretching it downfield. Lo and behold, Garrett Nussmeier can still throw the ball deep. I don't know why Brian Kelly said that a week ago. It created a whirlwind that just didn't need to happen. But nonetheless, I assume now by the way, Garrett Nussmeier, 3 passes of 20 yards or more. He was 2 of 3 on those with a touchdown. That was the same number of passes beyond 20 yards he threw against Florida. But somehow this is much better. Whatever. We can stop. I would assume now everyone's content. We can stop talking about the torso. Great. We wanted to see that. We also wanted to see the run game get going. It wasn't always awesome running the football. Certainly not a great day for Caden Durham, who left the game with an ankle injury, unfortunately. But the Tigers on the day had a sack-adjusted rushing total of 155 yards, which was 4.7 yards per carry. Again, that's sack-adjusted. If you look at the rushing total, it was 35 for 135, an average of 3.9. But, again, that includes sack yardage. So you take out the sack yardage, they averaged nearly 5 yards a carry, 4.7. That's more than good enough. I thought Juwan Johnson was really good running the football. 8 carries, had a couple of touchdowns, looked good in space. The balance on his second touchdown where he kind of redirected, got tripped up in the backfield, kept his balance, got north and south. We've talked about it a lot from Juwan Johnson. I mean, he's the state's all-time leader in total yardage and total touchdowns. He knows what to do with the ball in his hands. And you may need him a little bit more this week against Ole Miss, depending on what shape Caden Durham's ankle is in. A few other things from this game. Brian Kelly wanted to see third down improvement. You saw it. You were 9 of 14 on third down. You were 3 of 3 on fourth down. If we're being honest, the game really changed. It was 7-0. Remember, the first play, they were trying to dial up a deep shot on the first play of the game. It was covered. Nuss hits the check down to Durham, who slips in the backfield. They lose 7 yards. They go 3 and out and punt. The next drive, LSU puts together the long scoring drive, half a field. But then on that third possession, they were facing a 4th and 11. They decided to go for it. They hit Xavier Thomas for 17 yards. 2 plays later, they're in the end zone, 14-0, and they never looked back. The offense was really good. If you want to look at the flip side, some of the things that maybe didn't look awesome, Pro Football Focus charted 2 drops, one from Barian Brown, one from Nick Anderson. I charted 4, a second one from Nick Anderson and one from Aaron Anderson. I guess those don't typically or technically go as drops. The one that was back-to-back plays, Barian Brown's drop on the first play of the series, and then Aaron Anderson down the right sideline, which was a ball that he had and got knocked away late. He's got to come up with that play. And then Nick Anderson had another one in the end zone that, if he hangs on to it, would have been a touchdown. Sometimes you got to make contested catches. And if you're not making them against Southeastern, what leads you to believe you're going to be able to make them against Ole Miss or some of the other teams in the SEC? So Nuss, who finished the day 25 of 31 with 3 touchdowns, really had 4 balls that he threw that maybe should have been caught. So really, you could have made a case that he should have been 29 of 31 on the day. So almost flawless for Garrett Nussmeier, which was awesome to see. Really good to see Michael Van Buren. First extended action we saw. And if you were here all throughout our fall practice reports, one of the things we talked about a lot was that Michael Van Buren and Colin Hurley really struggled. And that was objectively true. It wasn't just my eyes. It was everybody who was out there who saw it and said the same thing. And it's one of the things that's a challenge whenever you're going out there and struggling with accuracy against air, which sometimes Van Buren and Hurley did in fall camp. Sometimes, though, the fact of the matter is there are guys that are just gamers. They're better in game. I remember having this conversation with Rohan years ago. That was always the narrative on him under Nick Saban, was that Rowe was a really bad practice player, but when the lights came on, he flipped the switch. And Rowe talked about it on air. He said, well, practice is very unnatural. You're working with half a field, and there's coaches on the field, and there's just variables you don't see in a game that are introduced in a practice, which made it hard for him. Maybe it's something similar with Michael Van Buren. Van Buren in this game was outstanding. He was sharp. He was accurate. 10 of 12 throwing the football. Had a touchdown pass. He also ran 4 times for 16 yards. A lot of people started to say, maybe he is the heir apparent. Maybe he is. But I don't know that him taking over with a 6-touchdown lead in the second half of a game against an outmanned FCS opponent that was already been beaten down is necessarily the barometer that you want to use. But again, I'd rather that than the contrary, which would be him not playing well at all. So that was fantastic to see. Defensively, you were really good. Your defense allowed 30 yards in the first half. And maybe most importantly, from Saturday night, as far as the defense is concerned, is you were able to keep the snap counts low. The most snaps that anybody on the defensive side played was 25. Harold Perkins, Javen Toviano, Devon Keys all played 25 snaps. Like, by comparison, Whit Weeks played 17 snaps in the game. So if you just think about Whit from this standpoint right now, he got ejected on the 4th play against Florida and then played just 17 snaps against Southeastern. So in the last 2 weeks, he's played 21 snaps. You want to talk about a dude that should be totally fresh, rip-roaring, ready to roll when they go to Oxford? I would think Whit Weeks would probably be in that number. The other maybe really impactful thing, there were 5 things on Friday that we told you we keep an eye on. Of course, it was Nussmeier. It was the rushing offense. It was, would we see all the Weeks brothers on the field at the same time? The answer was no. West didn't play, and then you wanted to get out of there without an injury. The other was, would Bauer Sharp score against his former team, which he did, which was cool to see. But one of the benefits of that game falling where it did, and I've talked about this a good bit throughout the offseason, is the fact that while, yes, you have landmines all over your schedule, the way the schedule is formatted, you avoid a brutal stretch at any point. And before all of your quote-unquote tough games, you get a relative breather or a layup. So before you go to Ole Miss, you had this game against an FCS team. So you gave Trey'Dez Green another week of rest. You gave West Weeks the week off. Brian Kelly said if it was a championship game, West would have been playing. But they were able to give him a week off. And on Monday afternoon, when Kelly met with reporters, he said West Weeks is good to go and he'll play this weekend, and so will Trey'Dez, which is great to see. The unfortunate thing is that Gabe Relaford and Caden Durham were both injured. Now, Durham, it doesn't seem like the ankle sprain is the high ankle. We'll see how effective he is throughout the week. Relaford, the news isn't as good. Brian Kelly said a sublation of the shoulder. I don't know what that means. Is that a separation? Is that what that means? A sublation? I don't know. But it may require surgery. So they don't know yet, but he's not going to play this week. So, just like against Louisiana Tech, you lost Braylon Moore on the first play. You lost Trey'Dez Green to a sprained MCL. Now in this game, Durham injury, Relaford could be done for, I don't know if that would be season ending or what that would mean, but if he has to have shoulder surgery, it'll keep him out a long time. And certainly he's going to miss this week against Ole Miss, so that's disappointing. But all things considered, it was one of those games on the schedule where you had an opportunity to rest some guys like West Weeks and Trey'Dez Green, so they'll be ready to go. And you had an opportunity to get a lot of young guys valuable reps before you go play on the road at Ole Miss, which was great to see as well. So one of those things where you accomplished a lot of what you wanted to see. The offense got going. Nuss threw the ball well. You ran it pretty well. You played a lot of guys on the offensive line, played a lot of guys on defense. You were able to rest some guys. You got a little confidence in your offense. So a lot of things that you like to see with this game, and LSU beating Southeastern 56-10. They are a necessary evil. It is playing an FCS school is really nothing more than a glorified scrimmage, a dress rehearsal that counts. But it counts, so go get some work done, and the Tigers did. Now they turn the page, their first road SEC game of the year at Ole Miss on Saturday. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. If you're hitting the road to Oxford, make sure before you go, you stock your ice chest with a bunch of Bud Light in the officially licensed LSU can. You don't want to be drinking that Ole Miss Bud Light? Heck, no, you don't. Get it from local Louisiana retailers with the officially licensed LSU can, that white can that my friend Courtney over at Mockler designed, which is beautiful. It's a hat tip to LSU's tradition wearing white jerseys at home. So check it out at great local retailers. Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Our Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows. We got a ton to do. As I mentioned, we'll probably say a lot this year. LSU wins, Saints lose. It's going to be a pretty common reality on a lot of Mondays. But this Saints loss was horrific. And unfortunately, we're going to talk about it when we come back on AFR.
After Further Review.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. You know where they are. Siegen Air Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Love telling you to buy local and shop local over at Clegg's Nursery. They're just the best. I love telling you about Clegg's Nursery because they're a great local company that's been around for 60 years. They have a great selection and awesome, knowledgeable staff. And right now, they have all of their fall decor displays out. If it's the pumpkins and the hay bales and the squash and the gourds and the wheat stalks and the scarecrows, they got all of it. So you want to decorate your front porch or your back patio, nobody's got a better selection than Clegg's. Always, always, always encourage you to bypass the big box store. Bypass the big box store and do business with a local company that's been serving our community for 6 decades. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you into Clegg's Nursery.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
To his 6-yard line. Horton on the return at the 20, right up the middle to the 30. Now Horton to the outside. Torrey Horton down the sideline. And it's a touchdown. 95 yards.
It's a test of adversity. It's how you respond. You have to narrow your focus, look at the items that are good, and certainly recognize those. But again, we did not do enough to start the game to put ourselves in a really good position to be competitive there. And so, there's no one's going to feel bad for you. No one's going to come save you or anything. We got to put in a bunch of work, and we got to get better right now and put ourselves in a better position moving forward.
That felt a lot like my childhood. Oh, man. Saints lose to the Seahawks 44-13. You know, I'm going to say this probably every Monday after a Saints game this year. I am not mad about losses because I, unlike some of you, had realistic expectations coming into the season. I spent the last really 6 months trying to explain to you using both subjective and objective data how much of a challenge this season was going to be. Most of you understood. Some of you didn't want to hear it. Now everybody sees it. So, not mad about the loss. There's going to be a lot of those this year, and I'd prepared myself for that. And I don't care if 37-year-old Kellen Moore wants to practice late because he likes to sleep in. I don't care if Kellen Moore wants to have a super light training camp. I don't care about any of that. As long as the team is tough and disciplined. And right now they are neither. And there isn't a soul alive that can argue to the contrary. After being flagged 16 times in the season opener with 13 accepted, you would think that would be a real inflection point for this team. No. Went out on Sunday against Seattle, 11 penalties. They are not smart. They are not disciplined. They're not tough. They do not handle adversity. They do not make plays. They are bad. This was a comedy of errors. Just look at the sequencing in the first half, and you'll understand what I mean. Opening possession, you decide, let's go for it on 4th down, near midfield. Okay, cool. You actually dial up the play. Alvin Kamara's open. Rattler missed him. Now, did Rattler miss him? Was Kamara backpedaling? I don't know. Probably a little bit of blame on both. But it was there. So you face a little adversity. Seattle gets the ball near midfield. Boom, touchdown. Oh, by the way, it wasn't just as simple as touchdown. You had gotten off the field. You had gotten a stop on 3rd down. Your defense was going to hold him to a field goal. And then Brian Brzee headbutts a dude, gives him a 1st down, and then they score. Stupid, undisciplined play. Gives him a touchdown. So then you get the ball. And guess what? You got a 4th and 1. You're going to go for it again. And you false start. So now you got a punt. And they house the punt 96 yards for a touchdown. Now you're down 14-0. On your next drive, you committed 4 penalties on that drive. What did you say? 4 penalties on your next drive. False start by Banks, false start by Olave, holding by Banks, holding by Richards. So then you got a punt because you're way behind the sticks, and they block the punt. And they score. Your next drive, Rattler throws a pick, got bailed out because of an illegal contact. You get a field goal. You kick off to Seattle. They return the kickoff 60 yards. Short field, 3 plays, 38 yards. They're in the end zone, 28-3. By the way, with all that bad special teams play, the inability to cover, it sure would be nice if you had a good, special teams ace, wouldn't it? It'd be really nice if you had someone that maybe was an all-pro special teamer. Maybe even a team captain that was on special. Oh, wait, you had that in JT Gray, and you cut him. So you could re-sign Jake Haener. Way to go, Mick. Bang-up job as always. I'm not done. You're down 28-3. Devon Gottschall gets a personal foul on top of a 45-yarder to JSN. They'd score a couple plays later, 35-3. Next offensive possession, false start by Banks, illegal shift by Chris Olave, and on 4th and 2, down 35-3, Ellen decides to kick a field goal. You're down 35-3. You're down 32 points. You're down 4 touchdowns. You're down 4 touchdowns. You're down 32. What the hell good's a field goal going to do? You down 4 touchdowns. Didn't change anything. You're still down 4 touchdowns. Why would you kill? Why would you? By the way, he missed it. So now Blake Grupe, who was all everything in training camp, is 2 for 5 on field goals so far through 3 games. He's missed a kick in every game. I'm not good at math, but that means he's on pace to miss 17 kicks this year. That's not good. Not done, by the way. And by the way, Olave, false start and an illegal shift. He's supposed to be a number 1 receiver. Everyone who keeps hitting me with that, when are you going to acknowledge Chris Olave is not a 1? At best, he's a number 2. He might be your number 1 because you stink, but at best, he's a number 2. They try to do a quarterback sneak. Fadil Diggs was offsides. They get a field goal. It's 38-3. And then you get another situation right there before the end of the first half where you're down at the 3-yard line with 3 seconds to go, and you're down 38-3, so you're down 35 points. Down 35 points. Instead of going for a touchdown, down 35 points, you kick the 23-yard field goal as time expires. Why? To make yourself feel good? To go down 38-6? Y'all, Kellen Moore, I fear, is in over his head. And I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I'm not trying to overreact to one game. And I would understand it if there were things. I would understand it if the reason you were losing was just because you didn't have good players, right? Like if you're just getting beat. Now, let's face it. Torricelli Simpkins was an undrafted rookie free agent was starting at left guard for you. Like against Byron Murphy. Like how do you think that's going to go? Of course that's not going to go well. So I'm not mad about Torricelli Simpkins having a bad day. He's an undrafted rookie being thrown in there to start at his first at Seattle against a former first-round pick. Of course that's not going to go well. That's not my problem. The problem is the 11 penalties. The problem is the bad effort on special teams, allowing a 95-yard punt return, allowing a 60-yard kickoff return, allowing a punt block. Like, those are effort things. Those are discipline things that you can control. And when you don't do those things, that's when I look and go, what is Kellen Moore doing? And it leads me to believe, like, they don't respect him. They may like him, but there's a big difference between liking and respecting. And I hear some people say, well, Kellen Moore needs to go yelling on the sideline. No, he doesn't. Because that's not his way. And if you're introduced to the team and you have a certain demeanor, and then when things start going bad, you change your demeanor, and now all of a sudden you're a yeller, they're going to look at you like a fraud. Because that's not who he is. And that's okay. Tony Dungy showed the world, like, you don't have to be an a-hole to be a great coach. Like, you can be a player's coach. And it's okay if your players like you, but they have to respect you. And with the consistent, undisciplined play, that, I wonder, that lack of discipline, I think, is a reflection of a lack of respect to the coach and authority. No different than in a household. If you keep breaking curfew, if you don't clean your room, wash your dishes when your parents tell you to, you don't respect your parents. You don't fear retribution. Like, you just do whatever you want. I feel like that's where the Saints are right now. They like him. I don't think they respect him. That's by the way, that's a completely subjective, just my opinion, just watching. I know nothing about the goings on in that locker room. But then I look at Kellen Moore and I go, the end of the first half against Arizona, you didn't use the timeouts. The fourth down decisions in this game were head-scratching. I just don't know that I don't know that he knows how to manage a game. I think he's a good play caller. He's shown that in his young career. He could be a good play caller and a good offensive-minded coach. I don't know if he knows how to manage a game and a team and a roster and all that stuff. That's where he's learning on the job. There's a steep learning curve, and I hope he catches up quickly. But this is all the manifestation of Mickey Loomis. This is what happens when you draft poorly for a decade. This is what happens when you don't make a commitment at the quarterback position. This is what happens when you stick with Dennis Allen and you're comparing him to Chuck Noll and Tom Landry. Like, this is what happens when you make a bad financial decision with Derek Carr. Like, this is what happens to your roster. And you're stuck with this. And it's going to be a long year. They're going to lose a ton. And it's not going to get better because they're going to Buffalo this week where they're a 16.5-point underdog. It's not going to get better. They're going to scratch out some wins. They're not going winless. The Giants are a disaster, and they'll be in the Dome. The Patriots aren't any good. They'll be in the Dome. You get the Jets in the Dome as well. I mean, you get to play Carolina and Atlanta. I mean, Carolina just beat Atlanta 30-0 yesterday. Like, division games, because of familiarity, there's opportunity. Like, there's opportunities. They're going to win games. They're not going winless. But it's just expect more of this type of Sunday and subsequent feeling on Monday. That was hideous. That was hideous to watch from all three phases. And I just don't think you certainly don't have the roster to fix it right now. And I don't know that Kellen Moore knows what to do with this crop of players to make them more productive, more disciplined, tougher. Those are the types of things that every player controls. And that's inarguable. With all of the penalty, like, you cannot sit here today and tell me this is a tough and disciplined team. They're not. Top to bottom, they are not. You cannot look at the penalties and the effort plays like special teams and tell me this is a tough, disciplined team. And that is probably the most disappointing thing of all of this. Beat goes on. They'll get blown out of Buffalo. They'll be 0-4. The season's over. Not that they were ever contending for anything. Of course, they're not going to be a playoff team. I think everyone understands that. Now it's just a matter of how much better can they get. And, unfortunately, guys like Kool-Aid McKinstry, some of the young draft picks you were hoping to see emerge this year are not looking the part. But long season, and those are some of the storylines layered within that will follow through the next 15 weeks. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. It doesn't matter if it's recreational land for hunting property. Of course, deer season's about to begin, and you're going to be sharing that deer lease again with someone else, and you're tired of doing that. You want to own your own property. First South Farm Credit can make that a reality. Start by going to firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. Maybe you live in New Orleans and you want to move to the North Shore so you can have the rural lifestyle work in the city. First South Farm Credit can help. Go to firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows. Got Peter Burns in 30 minutes from right now. A lackluster schedule in the Southeastern Conference, but I feel like we did learn a few things within the league. The Auburn-Oklahoma game was fascinating. Missouri-South Carolina, I think, was telling about both teams. Vanderbilt put up a 70-burger. So Florida lost again. Got a lot to dive into with Pete. We'll get to that. Also, if you missed, On3 leaked the future annual rivals in the SEC, which is set to be announced on Tuesday. But On3, Chris Lowe leaked it, or someone leaked it to Chris Lowe here on Monday. So we know LSU's opponents and the 3 annual opponents as they'll play out. But now I'm sure you saw for LSU, it'll be Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Arkansas. So no Bama, no Florida, no Auburn. We'll talk about that with Pete as well. All right, glad to have you hanging out with us here. Let's knock out a quick break. Come back and go around the SEC. It's AFR.
AFR.
Y'all, the home buying market is starting to heat up. Happens every year around this time. Most people assume that like spring, summer is the real hot months for real estate. Not in our market. It's actually October, November. And the reason actually makes a lot of sense. If you want to be in your new home for the holidays or be in your new home for the new year, this is the time people start really putting their homes on the market and looking for a new place. So if that's you, if you're thinking about selling your home, the first thing you got to do is know how much your home is worth. Go to agent225.com. I challenge you to do it right now. Get out your phone, go to the website. Like, seriously, there's a home value tool on the home page at agent225.com. Just click home value, punch in your address, and within a matter of seconds, I mean, literally as long as it takes you to type up your address, you can have your home value right there. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Inviting you to join us for Friday's AFR from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Got Lit Light Installers, because everything looks better when it's lit. We'll see you Friday, 3 to 6 from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Got Lit Light Installers.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Matt, it's been rumored for some time that he wanted his son Steven to take over, so it's not as big a shock as maybe some in college basketball are treating it. But what shouldn't be overlooked here is the incredible, indelible job that he has done. I mean, he will leave a legacy there that is almost unsurpassed with those 2 Final Four appearances in a very short period of time, 6 years. He's a seminal figure in college basketball, but what's most important is he took over a moribund program and made it one of the most feared and respected in the country.
That is Paul Feinbaum on the news that Pete Thamel and Jeff Borzello broke earlier today, followed by a statement from Bruce Pearl. If you go to any of the Auburn basketball social medias, Bruce Pearl, it's about a 14-minute video with Pearl sitting at his desk in his office and addressing the Auburn fan base. He's writing a letter and dictating and then talks through it. So Bruce Pearl is retiring from Auburn after a short run. He's 65 years old. He certainly has abundant energy, but he's been at Auburn for, I say a short run. He's been there for 11 years, so more than a decade. And he was a guy that led Tennessee to great heights and then had a barbecue where he fed some players, but more than the barbecue, it was that fact that he lied about the barbecue, which is what what got him in trouble with the NCAA. Of course, he was out of coaching for a bit while he had a show cause, got back in at Auburn. He has been awesome. 246 and 125 during his time there at Auburn. This last year, Auburn went to its second ever Final Four appearance, both of them under Bruce Pearl, incidentally. They were the number 1 overall seed in the men's tournament. They won the SEC regular season championship this past year. They won 32 games. Of course, they lost to Florida in the Final Four in the national semifinal. Florida would go on to win the national championship, as you well know. But Bruce Pearl has long discussed, a career in politics, and in this video said that instead of going to run for senator, he's going to be sort of a senator at Auburn, I guess in some emeritus role that'll serve there with the university. I don't know that. If I don't know necessarily that rules out Bruce Pearl running for office. We'll see what, if anything, may come of that. But it's a pretty seismic move there. And Bruce Pearl's son, Stephen Pearl, was his associate head coach, has now been elevated to the full-time head coach there at Auburn. Nepotism at its finest, but whatever. I think that's, if I can give you an opinion, I think that's absolutely absurd. I mean, Auburn at this point, considering their investment, their arena, everything, is one of the best jobs in college basketball. They certainly could have gotten a proven winning coach to come in and take that job from Bruce Pearl. Instead, they'll have his unproven son taking over. But whatever, that's Auburn's decision and their problem moving forward. The guy who broke the news, Jeff Borzello, was on with Peter Burns on the SEC Network and had this to say about the timing of the decision.
Well, the timing obviously is what makes it interesting, and there's a few factors that go into this. One, he's been kind of surrounded by political rumors over the last few months. Tommy Tuberville, former college football coach, announced he's running for governor, leaving open that Senate seat in Alabama. Pearl has been rumored to be a potential candidate for it. He is neither confirmed nor denied whether he's thinking about doing it, whether he's going to run. And the other factor is, with the timing of it, this allows him to step down and give his son Stephen a chance to prove himself as the head coach. Stephen was never announced as the coach in waiting or anything like that, but Bruce has always wanted his son to replace him, and doing it now in late September with just a few weeks until the season starts, it allows Stephen to take over for the season, maybe longer, we don't know yet, and prove himself as the head coach.
Again, that was Jeff Borzello who broke the news with Pete Thamel. So time before the start of the season here, but an interesting decision, no doubt, for Bruce Pearl. We'll see if career in politics does follow. In any event, it's after further review. Brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor. I've told you forever about all my experiences with Jim Woodworth and the great staff over at Parish Restoration. It's their patented non-toxic dry fog. But a certain purple and gold quarterback recently had an experience with Parish Restoration he'd like to tell you about.
Tiger fans, this is Garrett Nussmeyer. When my home had a serious mold problem, I turned to Parish Restoration. Owner Jim Woodworth and his team treated my house with their patented non-toxic dry fog system. It was safe, effective, and the results were incredible. If your home or office has mold, trust the experts I trust. Parish Restoration. Visit parishrestoration.com today. Go Tigers.
How about that? They dry fog Garrett Nussmeyer's house. Apparently they had mold in the house, and it was a serious mold problem in the house they bought. Garrett brought in Parish Restoration. Jim and the team dry fogged the whole thing, got the mold out. Pretty powerful testimonial there. So do what the quarterback of the Tigers does. Call Parish Restoration. Parishrestoration.com. Parishrestoration.com. All right, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Running back Jam Miller and defensive lineman Tim Keenan will play for Alabama Saturday as they visit number 5 Georgia. Kalen DeBose making that announcement on Monday. Miller's been out with a collarbone injury. Keenan hurt his ankle just before the season opener against Florida State, needed that tightrope surgery. Alabama is 102nd in the country in rushing offense, so Miller returning will be a big boost there. They just haven't actually been able to get a good pass rush either without Keenan. We'll see if he makes an impact on the defensive side of the ball.
The Florida Gators.
Defensive back Dijon Johnson will undergo surgery Monday on his right knee. That according to Swamp 24/7. It is a meniscus, not an ACL, according to 24/7. It is, however, significant enough to keep him away from the field for the foreseeable future. Might actually be season-ending. Johnson started in the 26-7 loss to Miami and suffered the injury on the opening drive of the second half. With Johnson sidelined, Cormani McLean expected to step into a larger role for the Gators at cornerback.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
And Cutter Boley is the new QB1 for the Wildcats as they head to South Carolina this week. Boley got the start against Eastern Michigan ahead of the bye week. Zach Calzada was still listed as the starter despite the shoulder injury that he suffered against Ole Miss in week 2. Calzada dressed against Eastern Michigan. Was available, but he did not see the field. Bo Allen went out in the fourth quarter to put the game away. Boley now on the depth chart, formerly QB1 with Calzada listed as the backup to go alongside Allen. All right, there, those around the SEC. Our Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Install those energy-efficient replacement windows. Beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, vinyl siding. It'll make your home more energy efficient. They do awesome work over at Relief Windows. It'll add an extra layer of security. It'll beautify the exterior of your home. It'll increase your home's resale value. Just start with that call or visit the website, 288-8138, 288-8138, 288-8138, or reliefwindows.com. One other thing real quick from this past weekend in the Southeastern Conference. Arkansas blew an 18-point lead to Memphis in the Liberty Bowl. By the way, why are you even playing that game at Memphis like we talked about last week? They had a big lead, blew it because Arkansas stinks. Sam Pittman, very much in the crosshairs. Does he make it through the end of the season after a game like that? Maybe not. Of course, the offensive coordinator is former Arkansas head coach Bobby Petrino, who Brandon Marcello on the College Football Insiders podcast said is kind of tilling the soil for a takeover.
A year ago, I'll say this. There was a lot of reluctance about Bobby Petrino taking over as interim head coach if that opportunity came to be. I was told even at the time that Travis Williams, the defensive coordinator, would most likely be the interim coach. Fast forward to now, the weakness of that team is by far the defense. There's a lot more push for maybe Petrino should be the interim head coach. And I will tell you, from people I've spoken to, Bobby Petrino's been working them phones, baby. He's been talking a lot behind the scenes. He's positioning himself to take over the Arkansas football program, at least on an interim basis, if Sam Pittman's fired.
Time heals all wounds, I suppose. Who says you can't go home? From crashing motorcycles with co-eds on the back and a silly neck brace and scarred up face all the way back from Western Kentucky and Montana State, now could very well be the boss hog yet again. We'll see what the future may hold. Really tough loss for Arkansas, blowing an 18-point lead. I mean, really tough just playing that game at the Liberty Bowl. And for an offense with Taylor Green that's looked pretty good this year, it's just been really rough. Now, this Saturday, Arkansas plays Notre Dame at home. And then after that, they're at Tennessee, Texas A&M, Auburn, Mississippi State, at LSU, at Texas, and then Missouri. God bless. Just an absolutely brutal slate. And there's very little chance that Sam Pittman makes it through this season. Could very well be Bobby Petrino on the sideline when Arkansas comes to Baton Rouge in November. We'll follow it. It's AFR.
AFR.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
My father, J.B. Falgout, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgout.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. our clients come first.
At Luva, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Wrapping up hour number 1. Peter Burns, about 10 minutes from right now. Every Thursday, Muse, Paulie, and I tell you 3 things we're keeping an eye on. We come back on Monday, tell you how it went. We call it what we learned. Let's hit it.
We watched. Now, let's review.
All right. Matthew Douglas Musso.
No, that's not it. I learned that Texas Tech, if for real, that was an impressive win. For real in terms of the Big 12, let me clarify. That was a really impressive win by the Red Raiders, man. They went out, spent all the money. They didn't play anyone with a pulse the first 3 weeks, and now they go on the road to Rice-Eccles, and they were in control of that game really from jump. 3 first-half turnovers forced. They shut down the Utah running game and then extended the lead 24-7. And even after suffering an injury to their starting quarterback, the backup, Will Hammond, comes in, leads 2 touchdown drives of his own. Texas Tech looking like the class of the Big 12 along with Iowa State here early.
Ole Miss had a statement win against Tulane over the weekend.
No mention of TCU there?
Comes in my takeaways later in the show. But
yeah,
yes.
People may not be here 2 hours from now.
I really like their quarterback, and I think he's great and is leading that team to success.
Bears mentioning if you're going to mention the class of the Big 12 right.
More at 5:30.
Paulie.
Yeah, so Ole Miss, they knocked off Tulane 45-10.
Saw that.
Trinidad Chambliss had himself a day. Passed for 307, passed for 2 touchdowns, ran for 112, hit a long of 41 yards. Ole Miss may have a quarterback controversy on their hands.
Well, last Thursday we were looking at Dolphins-Bills. Mike McDaniel had the best odds of being the first coach fired. They were playing Buffalo. Didn't go well. They lost 31-21 there. It's fairly competitive. It was a tie game at half. But Buffalo ultimately did what Buffalo does because they're way better and ended up beating the Dolphins. McDaniel's still the coach in Miami, but clock's ticking. Dolphins are 0-3.
I was looking at Nebraska and Michigan, see if Nebraska could really kind of announce themselves in the Big Ten like many thought preseason. They couldn't. Just a bunch of missed opportunities for the Cornhuskers in this game. The first drive, I mean, you have an opportunity to kick a field goal, go up 3-0. You don't, and you lose the game by 3. There was also other red zone follies. Tough look on the home field in Memorial Stadium for the Huskers.
I was watching Bengals and Vikings. It was a battle of the backups, and it wasn't close from the start. Vikings dominated. Jamar Chase for the Bengals had 5 catches, 50 yards. Justin Jefferson for the Vikings, 5 catches, 75 yards. Both teams now 2-1.
Turnovers in the first half were brutal for the Bengals in that one. Bears were a slight favorite over Dallas. We were looking at it because Ben Johnson was one of 3 first-time head coaches who had not yet gotten a win. Of course, Alan Moore and Aaron Glenn were the other
Alan
2.
Moore.
And Ben Johnson and the Bears did work. 31-14. They pound Dallas. One that was never in doubt. It was 14-3 after the first quarter, and the Bears never looked back. Ben Johnson gets his first win as a head coach.
Texans have themselves an uphill climb. 0-3 now after dropping a defensive battle to the Jaguars. Had 2 chances under 3 minutes deep in Jacksonville territory. Turned it over both times. Go home with the L.
I was watching the NFC West showdown between the Niners and the Cardinals. The 49ers, Eddie Pinheiro hit the walk-off field goal as time expired. Both teams did lose key players for the season. James Conner with an ankle and Nick Bosa for the 49ers suffered torn ACL.
And because y'all didn't mention it, I did. Auburn, Oklahoma, it was the game of the weekend as far as implications went. Oklahoma 24-17. Didn't come without controversy. The league did issue a statement saying that one of Oklahoma's touchdowns should not have actually stood.
Bruh.
I mean, I actually love the play. We'll talk about that more in a bit. But a nice win for the Sooners on not a spectacular day for John Mateer, but enough to get it done. Oklahoma beats Auburn 24-17. That's what we learned. We're brought to you by Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, arco.com, 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 ARCCO. This is Generac Industrial Generator Power. So this is not for your home. Let me be very clear. These are not home generators. These are for your businesses. What type of business? Doesn't matter. If it's essential systems like the healthcare systems, hospitals, if it's the power grid, if it's grocery stores, if it's gas stations, if it's essential businesses, or any business. Think about it. Power goes out. What does your business do? Arco Power Systems has the result. ARCCO. Baton Rouge, as far west as San Antonio, east to Mobile, north to Little Rock. Arco.com, arco.com, ARCCO, arco.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Peter Burns coming up after SportsCenter.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels, they're the best. They've been doing this for 40 years now. And when you've stayed in business for 40 years and you've served the local communities and you've grown responsibly, you have the type of success that Lee Michaels does, meaning with 10 stores, when Mr. Scott goes on these diamond buying trips all over the world, all throughout the year, because he has the buying power of 10 stores, he's able to get the best selection and deliver great prices. Make the comp like Goldilocks all the time, right? There's too hot, too cold, there's just right. Well, like the big box stores are impersonal and cookie cutter. The little boutique jewelers generally tend to be really expensive and you don't have as good a selection. With Lee Michaels, they got everything at the best price. If they don't have what you want, they'll find it. They can't find it, they'll make it. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Check them out online at lmfj.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Invited you to join us for Friday's AFR from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Got Lit Light Installers, because everything looks better when it's lit. We'll see you Friday, 3 to 6 from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Got Lit Light Installers.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website.
LouisianaSports.net.
Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always. no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. our clients come first.
At LUVA, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you.
This is Sports.
Hey, Peter, can you hear me? All right, perfect, man. We're in Sports Center. Just hold tight.
3 games of this season. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports defensive end Nick Bosa will miss the rest of the season with a torn ACL. ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky.
They've got depth there because Michael Williams, who's their first-round draft pick, Bryce Huff, who they acquired from the Eagles. Good players, but they're not Nick. This is a defense right now that's giving up like 16 points a game. That's third in the NFL. They're only giving up about 160 yards passing per game, which is top 5. So this was a group that was ascending. It's one of the reasons why the 49ers are 3-0 in first place. This is an enormous loss for this football team.
Cowboys receiver CeeDee Lamb could miss 3 to 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain. NBA Rocket star point guard Fred VanVleet has a torn ACL, could potentially miss the entire upcoming season. He's helped Houston's turnaround from a lottery team to a playoff contender in his 2 seasons. Auburn men's basketball coach Bruce Pearl stepped down. He'll move into an ambassador's role in the athletic department. His son Steven, the Tigers' associate head coach, gets a 5-year contract to be the program's new head coach.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Tuesday, the Eagles are clearly the #1 team in my power rankings. But how will the rest of the top 5 shake out? It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from downtown Baton Rouge.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Every Monday after the football weekend, we talk to Peter Burns of the SC Network. Let's do it.
This week in the SEC with Peter Burns.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Let's separate the contenders from the pretenders.
Number 11 of the defense, throwing the LSU player's shoe 20 yards down the field.
With Peter Burns of the SEC Network, presented by Blue Delta Jeans.
It's just the specificity of throwing it 20 yards down the field. Not 19, not 23. It's exactly 20 yards down the field. Yo, Peter, man, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing? Am I on video today? I have to, does this change anything?
No.
Do I need to put makeup on?
No, you look beautiful. We do have Peter on video. Outstanding audio quality. What mic do you have there? It's a beautiful microphone.
I don't know. I stole it from Doring. He owed me a couple of extra things after the LSU beatdown of Florida. So I don't know. It's some kind of Shure microphone. I have no idea. So it makes me at least sound professional, even though if I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
That's so good. Okay, did you? I have an RE20. I think that might be an RE20. Those are good. Anyway, did you like the hideout play by Oklahoma against Auburn?
Did I like it? It's like saying, do you like driving 80 miles an hour when the speed limit's 70? Yeah, I mean, it's fine as long as you don't get caught. I mean, to a certain extent. I mean, I played it on my show this morning. What's going on is the fact of when you play the audio from Brent Venables on it, he basically like, well, it's we weren't going in transition tempo, and we lined up right, and then he kind of was like, it is what it is, like, right, like he kind of basically confirmed that they knew it was operating in the world of gray, and that's why everybody got upset about it.
So good. So I
was like, that was the official welcome to the SEC moment for Oklahoma. Like, look at you, not colored in between the lines.
We ran that play in high school, Pete, a lot. We ran the hideout play, and it always worked. I didn't know that was illegal, so I saw it. I was like, oh, look, the hideout play. And then it was like, it's apparently totally illegal in college football, which is a little bit of a bummer because I love that play.
Well, and Lane, we had Chiswick on. Chiswick says, yeah, they banned that a couple years ago, and Lane used it last year. And I guarantee you, every single offensive coordinator looks at Lane film and be like, hey, what can I put into my offense at some point? And I guarantee you, Ben Arbuckle saw that play, and now they sold it. And I think the league office, frankly, was just upset that the officials were told about it, knew that it potentially could come up this season. It did, and it led to this issue.
Yeah, I'd be ticked if I was an Auburn fan. Just full disclosure. I love the play, but I'd be ticked if I was an Auburn fan. Did you, aside from that, legitimately, though, did you learn anything about either team from that game?
Yeah, I mean, that Auburn's defense is pretty legit, that they kept them in it. And honestly, that Jackson Arnold reminds me a little bit of Joe Burrow, like with the Bengals. Like, you got all this money behind the wide receivers, but you don't have any offensive linemen. And
what a comp.
And that's that was unfortunate for Jackson. I mean, 9 sacks. It was wild. So, I mean, Mateer's a dude too. We talked to Molly McGrath on the show, and just the interviews that he's had. Like, that dude and the way that's trending is going to be a problem for anybody, much less LSU at the end of the year, where you could have a college football playoff or a berth to Atlanta on the line.
It was a light schedule as far as conference games. The other one that was certainly relevant was South Carolina, Missouri. That felt like a measuring stick game. A couple weeks ago, I asked you, and you were super high on Bo Prabula, and he's obviously been outstanding so far through Missouri's schedule. They're 4-0. But it was one of those games, Pete, where neither team really separated from much of it. Like, what was your big takeaway from that one, aside from obviously Missouri's win and moving to 4-0?
I mean, that it's a situation, and on the other side, Lenoris is that dude, right? I mean, he made some throws that looked incredible. He looks the part. He just doesn't have the weapons around him this year. Not only offensively, they can't run the ball whatsoever, so it's going to make them one-dimensional. But on the other side of it, defensively, they're just not great, and that's a good news for an LSU squad that seemed to kind of finally get it together offensively this weekend. On the other side of it, again, I've been singing the praises of Eli Drinkwitz, and I think what Eli's doing is what Billy Napier did not do. Remember, the first couple of years that Eli was over at Missouri, he was the play caller as well. They went 17-19, and now I want to say the number is like 26-5 since he gave up play calling duties. And go back and look at what's happening in Gainesville right now. Like, they don't know how many players they have. Sometimes they got 10 men on the field for a field goal block. Sometimes they got 13. The offense isn't running. Like, it's a bad situation for both of them.
Yeah, Florida lost to Miami 26-7. The defense kept them in at Miami. Scored 13 fourth quarter points, kind of give them some distance there. I don't know, Pete. They're 1-3. With the schedule is what it is. Is there anything notable here with Florida that we should be discussing for the remainder of this year, aside from the obvious?
How much fight that they have? I mean, last year you had leadership like Jack Pyburn. Well, Jack, of course, is now in the 225, right? Like, and DJ was like the new shiny thing. But now, I wonder how much there is a division when you say defensively, man, they're doing all they can, but they finally broke late against a good team. How many of these guys do kind of what Oklahoma wide receivers and offensive linemen did last year, where they knew the game wasn't, or the season wasn't going well, and then magically they're injured, and then they used a 4-game redshirt rule? Like, it's going to be fascinating to see what that roster looks like as they head up after the bye week and they take on Texas out of the Swamp.
Peter Burns is with us, courtesy of Blue Delta Jeans, BlueDeltaJeans.com, BlueDeltaJeans.com, most comfortable jeans you'll ever wear in your life. Learn more at BlueDeltaJeans.com. There was a couple of blowouts, Pete. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to ask a question. Can we talk about this guy right here?
I would love to. He's holding up his
launch.
ticket.
Have you discussed the hard launch? Is this a real thing?
Are you talking about Witt and Lane Kiffin's daughter?
Yes.
I have no idea. Someone sent
I
me
don't
a photo.
either.
Someone
I didn't
sent
know.
me a photo.
I'm just like, is somebody playing 40 chess here, or like what's happening here?
So explain though, because someone just sent me a picture earlier. I'm not smart and I don't follow things like that are hip and cool. So what? So Whit. There's a picture of Whit.
I guess Lane's daughter Landry, and I can't believe I'm a grown ass man talking about this, but yeah, here we are. Lane's daughter posted a picture of her and Whit. I guess I don't know where. It looked like an LSU apartment, and she's on his lap saying "I'm happy" or whatever. And then now Whit has reposted it as well too. Again, I sound like some 14-year-old like gossiping, but I'm like, of all weeks, LSU Ole Miss week. That's interesting.
So do you think that's Lane putting her up to it? Like, let's distract the star linebacker.
All right,
go get him.
Listen. I've seen too many people in social media world make announcements when they weren't supposed to. Sometimes regarding Ole Miss people. So I'm not going to say anything about that. It's kind of a weird deal that it pops up all of a sudden for this week, which adds. By the way, what LSU Ole Miss is now is what I feel like LSU Florida was, where something crazy always seems to happen. Like this thing over the last couple of years has been wild.
Okay. 2 years. The last time LSU went to Oxford was a despicable football game with the likes of which I hope to never see again. LSU scoring 49 and losing. In regulation, Pete, I never want to see that again. So
never.
I don't think that's going to happen. By the way, what did you make of Ole Miss beating Tulane the way they did?
He's got a dude in Trinidad Chambliss. Like in the fact, I went on my show today and I had like a one-on-one with Lane. I was like, look at me, like please. Austin Simmons needs to be your starting quarterback. Like, please, that. You can't Wally Pip this guy. Not fair at all. But Trinidad runs the offense. And again, if I was an LSU fan, I'd much rather see Austin Simmons, as young as he is, as inexperienced as he is, and made a couple of mistakes. He already threw 4 interceptions early than Trinidad. I mean, Trinidad has the arm, has the legs, has a little moxie to him, and more importantly, hasn't turned the ball over. Yeah. So that's a different game now with Trinidad and the way he's played the last 2 weeks.
Can I present one contrasting thought to you? I'm not going to say I strongly believe this. I'm just presenting it for conversation.
Yeah, we're spitballing here. We're throwing things out, see if it's good. All right.
So Trinidad Chambliss was Division II last year, right? Ferris State is where he played.
Yes.
So he goes to Ole Miss. And his first action is against Arkansas, who I think we would agree defensively that's not a very good team. So
correct.
Looks good against a bad defense. Okay. And good, objectively, Lane Kiffin, very good play caller, scheme, all that sort of stuff. Then they play Tulane, where I think it's also safe to say pretty dramatic talent differential with Ole Miss and Tulane. What if I look at it this week and go, okay, well, from Ferris State, Arkansas, Tulane to this LSU defense, by the way, with Blake Baker now having film on you, this may not go great for Trinidad Chambliss, and it may look more like, remember when Costello threw for 600 against LSU and was
right for the jump? He's the next best thing.
Yeah, right?
He's going to be, Cliff Kingsbury and that Texas Tech offense type numbers, right?
What do you think of that thesis? I don't have a strong feeling on it. I'm just curious your thoughts.
Yeah, you could sell me that, and I think there's some of it to say, all right, give me Blake Baker and Witt, and if we get West back, ready for practice, I feel fine. Like, I'll go to war with this LSU defense against anybody in the damn country right now. With that being said, would I much rather have a younger guy who's prone to already showing he can throw some bad picks early in the season? Yeah. So, but either way, again, LSU's ready for that moment, and finally. I didn't get a chance to watch every single snap, but Nuss, outside of a couple of drops, it's probably as good as he looked in a dress rehearsal for a big week.
Bama, Georgia, who do you like? Early pick.
God, is it crazy I like Bama in this game?
Yes.
Again, it's something about the Bama-Georgia matchup, what Kirby's 1-6, but the fact of the way that Joey Aguilar absolutely sliced and diced that secondary, I think Georgia's good, but I think they got some major issues right now. And if things become a little bit of a score fest, I actually like Alabama on the road.
Okay. You think it's a score fest?
I think so. Okay. Yeah, I don't think both defenses are great. whatsoever. They are going to get what's the kid Tim Keenan, the defensive lineman back that they didn't have, and Jam Miller. So this will be the first time you really see Alabama. Which, by the way, now we allegedly, I don't know because we released it on Tuesday. We on the SEC network, we may not see Alabama every single year on the permanent schedule.
You're not surprised by that, right?
No, not surprised. And I'm fine with it. I'm disappointed we're not going to see Florida every year. But again, I still look forward to the Ryder Cup, and I get it every 2 years. So, it's not like Georgia, who's never once gone to College Station, and we're not going to see any of these teams. Worst case scenario, we see them the opposite year, and you see them twice in 4 years, home and away. It's as balanced as the league office and the balance as the SEC schedule has ever been, top to bottom, in the history of the conference.
Agreed. Wait, how do I not know this? Georgia's never played at Kyle Field?
I don't believe so. Unless it was a non-con game way back in the day. But
no, since they've been in the league. I don't care about 1962. I'm talking about since they've been in the league. Wow.
Right.
That's
crazy.
Stunning. Yeah, that's why this needed to happen. We need an expanded schedule. This needs to happen for equity and all. All right. Hey, can you talk to Blue Delta and see if they can get us a Peter Burns AFR discount code or something?
Ooh, I think I can. I'll work on that today. I'll tell you what. You do some investigative journalism on the Instagram story and do the TikTok deal. I'll work on the AFR code for Blue Delta.
I guarantee you, when I get home, I'll ask Erica Moscona, and
She'll
she'll have all of the deets. She's a big. Erica doesn't know anything about football, but she knows about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, and she knows about Lane and Landry and Juice Kiffin and all that stuff. She's big She knows the
plugged in.
The football adjacent stuff on social media is what she knows. So she'll know all about this, I assure you. All right.
I love it.
Thanks, PB.
See you, buddy.
That's Peter Burns. Get him on Twitter at Peter Burns or X at Peter Burns ESPN. See if we get that Blue Delta discount code. Mostly because I need some new jeans. I lost a lot of weight and I need new pants. And I would like to buy some Blue Delta jeans. And if I can get them nice little discount, I'll do it. So ain't too proud to beg. Ain't no shame in this game. I'll break it down and beg like James. Please. Nothing? I can't get any back up there?
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
Do you not know what I'm talking about?
I know.
It's a song called Donkey Butt, but just never mind. It's okay.
I wasn't really
locked in. That's fine. You're good. We're brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing. ParishBuilt.com. ParishBuilt.com. It's so disappointing. God doesn't know Donkey Butt. Look up Donkey Butt.
I've heard the song. I know.
Let me do my read. Thank you. Look up the break. We'll do it later. Break it down, beg like James also. Parish Construction and Roofing, ParishBuilt.com, ParishBuilt.com. Do business with someone you know, Parish Construction and Roofing. Proud to be an owner in Parish Construction and Roofing with Richard Tilley and Ryan Terrio and Joe Morales and our whole crew. And proud to serve people here in the state of Louisiana. Proud to give back the many opportunities that we've had. Just a couple weeks ago, we did an NIL deal with a couple of LSU women's basketball players, Michaela Williams and Mylasia Fawiley. Love to give back when we can like that. We're sponsors of the Go Red for Women Luncheon for the American Cancer Society. We've done so much for church and schools and civic groups. We love to do that. Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital, they're driving the future giveaway. Had the 5 cars parked out in front of the parish office. Our owners work the phone bank as well for the donations. We love being community involved. We love being community oriented. Of course, our Baton Rouge office, our office in Elmwood that services New Orleans. We'd love to help you out as well. Residential or commercial, repairs, replacements. We offer financing, so if you need that roof replacement or if you need to finance your deductible, we can help with that as well. We get so many options. Just let us go to work for you at Parish Construction and Roofing, ParishBuilt.com, ParishBuilt.com. Do business with someone you know, ParishBuilt.com. All right, it's after further review. Thanks, Peter Burns. Appreciate that. Lane Kiffin, by the way, did have an interesting comment on the LSU secondary that they bought in the transfer portal. We'll have Gordon with us, Gordon McKernan next hour. Get some NIL thoughts there with G. Ross Jackson about an hour from right now as well. Glad you're hanging out. When we come back, how did it get so bad in New Orleans? I have a theory, and I'll lay it out for you next on AFR.
AFR.
GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions. That's Jareth Knockan and the gang over at Glow Resources. They measure themselves by how long the employee they pick stays with your business. That's how they judge their success. And they have a 96% success rate. That's astonishing. 9.6 out of 10 people that they find to work in your business stay. This is not temp staffing. They are finding permanent solutions for your business. And if in the unlikely event that they find someone for your business, any business in the industry, that doesn't stick, they'll give you a prorated refund or find a replacement for free. So what do you have to lose? Start maximizing productivity within your organization. Let Glow Resources help. Check them out online at glowresources.com, glowresources.com. GLO, glowresources.com. Complete employer solutions.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parrishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs. From your hometown, parrishbuilt.com.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Yeah, obviously we got to be prepared and put ourselves in the best position to be successful. We got to eliminate all the silly things. We need our guys to just play fast, free, and confident, and we got to get there. And again, we got to find the formula. We got to look into this film really, really closely, and hold each other accountable. Starts with me again, and we'll find a solution.
Things not going so great for young Kellen Moore in his maiden voyage here with the New Orleans Saints. The Saints were blown out by the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday, 44-13, and I'm not surprised they lost the game, picked them to lose the game, as I'm sure many of you did. They were a touchdown road underdog in one of the, historically, what is one of the tougher places to play, certainly in the last 20 years in the NFL, and this is just not a very good New Orleans Saints football team. So I'm not surprised they lost. I think they're going to lose a lot of games this year. How they lost is the thing that's certainly discouraging because you continue to see a lot of the undisciplined mistakes. 11 more penalties, just an atrocious effort on special teams where you had a punt blocked. You allowed a punt return for a touchdown. You allowed a 60-yard kickoff return, which set up a short field touchdown. You missed a field goal for the third consecutive week. You blocked a punt, but were offsides on the block punt, so that was negated. Just a lot of, or field goal, I should say, a lot of very poor play, undisciplined play that go along with being a bad team and one that is also poorly coached. Kellen Moore, after this game, was asked about his team's lack of discipline, and he didn't, unfortunately, have a lot to say about it.
We're not clean enough. We're not clean enough. Too many penalties again, and too many of them, they're under our control. There's judgment penalties in every single game, but the ones that we can control, we can't have that. We got to do a better job.
That's always going to be a reflection on coaching and culture and the staff and all that sort of stuff. But I think the big question that a lot of people have right now is how did it get so bad? You can understand as a team is rebuilding, not winning a bunch. But going from a team that isn't expected to contend to a team that is losing as badly as they did on Sunday and is now a 16.5-point road underdog at Buffalo this week, people wonder how did it get so bad? And to me, this is just very obvious. Like, this is the manifestation of what Mickey Loomis has done in New Orleans and built over really more than a decade. And the decisions that they made that put all these into motion. Like, just for example, you have to build in the NFL. You have to build your roster through the draft. It's how you get young, affordable talent. That's what happened for New Orleans in 2017 when they drafted Marshawn Lattimore and Alvin Kamara, who both were the NFL Rookies of the Year on their respective sides of the ball. You drafted Ryan Ramczyk, who became a perennial All-Pro at the time, was the highest-paid right tackle in the NFL. You drafted Marcus Williams, who was a starter, Alex Anzalone, who was a key player, Trey Hendrickson, who became a starter. Like, you ended up drafting 6 really key players in one draft, and boom, you were a contender again after missing the playoffs 3 consecutive years. Well, how did you miss the playoffs 3 consecutive years? We'll go back and look at those drafts. In 2014, you drafted Brandon Cooks, Stanley Jean-Baptiste, Kyrie Ford, Vinny Cincinnati, Ronald Powell, and Tavon Rooks. The only guy in that whole draft class that became a pro was Brandon Cooks. And you traded him after a couple of seasons. In 2015, Andrus Peat, Stephon Anthony, miss. Haoli Kikaha, miss. Garrett Grayson, miss. P.J. Williams, miss. Davis Tull, miss. Tyler Davison, miss. Damian Swan, miss. Marcus Murphy, miss. You missed on everybody. Even your first-round pick, Pete, who you drafted to be a tackle, ended up playing guard because he couldn't play tackle. 2016, you hit on Rankins, Mike Thomas, Von Bell, David Onyemata. Daniel Lasco was your other draft pick. So you had some talent there, an infusion there, and then 2017 happened the way it did. And my feeling then was, okay, they'd brought in Jeff Ireland. They have this draft class. They get the benefit of the doubt. Well, look at what's happened subsequent. In 2018, Marcus Davenport, Traquan Smith, Rick Leonard, Natrell Jamerson, Cameron Moore, Boston Scott, Will Clapp. A disaster of a draft class. A year later, you don't have a first-round pick because you traded up for Marcus Davenport. So you take Eric McCoy, C.J. Garner-Johnson, Saquon Hampton, Alize Mack, and Caden Ellis. McCoy became a starter for you. Garner-Johnson was a very good player, but you ended up trading him, and you missed on everybody else. Ellis, who became a player, ends up playing for Atlanta. In the COVID year, you make 4 picks. Cesar Ruiz, Zach Bond, Adam Troutman, Tommy Stevens. Bond's the worst starter, Ruiz is the worst starter at his position in the league. Bond could never get on the field for you. He goes to a good organization and ends up being a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Troutman was a bust with you, and Tommy Stevens didn't make the team. 2021, you want me to keep going? Peyton Turner, Pete Werner, Paulson Adebo, Ian Book, Landon Young, Kawan Baker. You bust on Peyton Turner. You hit on Pete Werner and Paulson Adebo, but Adebo's now with another team, and the second half of your draft was a disaster. Olave Penning, Alante Taylor, DeMarco Jackson, Jordan Jackson. Olave's a number 2. Trevor Penning can't stay on the field. Alante Taylor is probably playing out of position. You want me to keep 2 years ago? Brian Brzee, Isaiah Foskey, Kendre Miller, Nick Saldiveri, Jake Hainer, Jordan Howden, A.T. Perry. Your drafts are disasters. That's why your roster stinks. You continue to draft poorly. Well, who's in charge of the draft? Your general manager is. So you draft poorly. You don't respect your future draft capital because you keep trading it away. You combine that with an atrocious approach to the salary cap where they are perennially kicking the can down the road, which now is starting to rectify because you're getting some of those awful contracts off the books because of a hard reset. And so when you look at the fact that you've been awful in the NFL draft, so you've not had good young talent on affordable rookie deals. You've made zero investment in your quarterback. Obviously, literally, the New Orleans Saints, per percentage of the salary cap, have the smallest investment in the most important position in organized team sport as any team in the NFL right now at quarterback. You've been awful in the draft. You've been awful on the offensive line, despite your investment in the offensive line with 4 first-round picks on your offensive line. That's still one of your worst units. So despite the fact that you've invested there in the draft, you've missed, you've drafted poorly, you've developed poorly. And then you got a general manager that's comparing the likes of Dennis Allen to Chuck Noll, Tom Landry, Bill Belichick, and Bill Walsh. He's delusional. You've got a delusional general manager that thinks he's doing everything right, despite the fact that I just read for you a decade worth of crap in the NFL draft, an approach in to the salary cap, which literally none of the other 31 teams use, but I'm sure he's got it all figured out, right? None of the other 31 teams use that approach because it hamstrings your ability to sign free agents, sign your own free agents, and you've misevaluated your talent as well. I just mentioned Zach Bond. You want to go down the list of guys who were in New Orleans that you chose not to pay and had to go elsewhere? You didn't pay Marcus Williams. You suck at safety. You didn't pay Trey Hendrickson. You have no pass rushers. Like, they've misevaluated evaluated their own talent. They've given bad contracts in free agency. They've drafted poorly. They've mismanaged the quarterback situation. The Derek Carr deal and subsequent restructures were an abject failure and disaster, which hamstrings you. It's all why you're in the situation you are. You draft poorly and you have no money to spend in free agency. Nobody wanted to come coach your team, so you're left with a 37-year-old first-time head coach who seems like he's in over his head, coaching a talentless roster that doesn't seem like they're interested in listening to him or being any better, which is why you see the undisciplined penalties and the general awful performance that we did on Sunday in Seattle. My only hope for this team is that eventually Gail Benson recognizes just how awful this product is, and the architect of this awful product is Mickey Loomis, and she moves him out. Now, I understand that years ago when Rita and Gail were feuding, there were lines drawn in the sand. And those in the organization that sided with Gail Benson, when she won, they were made men. And Mickey Loomis is in that number. It's why he's never going to get fired. And I get that. But can we move him out of the general manager role into a spot where he just sits in the suite, eats popcorn like the owner in Rookie of the Year, where he's fired up about getting a ring in a Cracker Jack box, but he's not actually doing anything? Like, can we have that reality with Mickey Loomis? Let him hang out. Let him smack his gum. Let him go down on the field before the game. Let him sit in the suite. But get someone in there who actually has some creative ideas about how to move this organization forward in a fiscally responsible manner. Someone who has a better eye at not only evaluating talent, but coaches and talent evaluators to bring on staff to be able to draft better. Like, I'm not crushing the guy because of one bad draft. I just went back to 2014. With the exception of the 2017 draft, it has been a disaster. And he keeps trading future assets. That's how it ends up the way it is right now in New Orleans. It's him. And with every passing day, every passing year, as the sample size grows, you continue to realize that the success the New Orleans Saints organization had was solely on the shoulders of Sean Payton and Drew Brees, and that Mickey Loomis was just riding sidecar. And the second they were gone, his incompetence has been exposed, which is why they were terrible before Payton and Brees, and they're terrible again now without Payton and Brees. Because he, Mickey Loomis, is a bad general manager. I would argue the worst general manager in football because of the now 2 different stints sandwiched by this incredible era of Peyton Brees to display his incompetence without them. Before, and after. Gail's got to do the right thing. It's really their only way out of this. Because as long as he's in that role, they'll never win again. So, let's wait it out. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics, olrmc.com/LSU. You want to learn more. olrmc.com/LSU. We like to say Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. Yes, the championship health partner of LSU Athletics, the physicians at Our Lady of the Lake, they care for the LSU student athletes, but also the students there on campus as part of there with the Student Health Center. And everyday champions like you and me, whatever it may be. If it's at the Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center, if it's the Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital, if it's cancer services, if it's stroke, if it's heart health, they do it all at Our Lady of the Lake. And their partnership with LSU is incredible. You see the Garrett Nussmeier ads and billboards and TV ads and radio ads all over now. They've done incredible NIL opportunities to further their partnership with LSU and LSU Athletics. Such an integral part Our Lady of the Lake is. We talk about the naming rights for the new basketball arena, which we sure hope is going to be pushed through soon. A lot of that red tape will get cut out, but it's Our Lady of the Lake. Championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. Okay, it's after further review. Speaking of NIL, a lot of that stuff, Gordon will be with us here in about 25 minutes from right now, top of hour number 3. Let me knock out a break. We'll have a quick segment. I do want to talk about the future of SEC football scheduling. The future SEC opponents were leaked earlier today. By now, you've probably heard LSU, Alabama, not going to be an annual opponent anymore. I don't think that's a great surprise. We'll explain why next on AFR.
After further review.
Man, hoping we are going to get a little bit of a cold front coming here soon. Might get that cold snap. Get this start feeling more like fall. But as of right now, it's still 89 degrees today in Baton Rouge, despite the fact that we're moving toward the end of September. If you have an issue with your AC, our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air would like to help. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. As a matter of fact, last week, I was over I brought Drew to visit my parents, and we pull into their neighborhood, and right when you pull in the neighborhood, the second house on the right, there was a big River City's 1 Hour Air van parked in front of the house. And this was notable because it was 8 o'clock at night. I got home, ate dinner, fed Drew, and then brought him over to my parents. They live near us for a quick visit. 8 o'clock at night, pulling in the neighborhood, there was a 1 Hour Air van. I tell you all the time, nights, holidays, weekends, they'll always come out. Nights, holidays, weekends. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Hey, it's Matt Moscona, inviting you to join us for Friday's AFR from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Got Lit Light Installers, because everything looks better when it's lit. We'll see you Friday, 3 to 6 from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Got Lit Light Installers.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing. This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs. From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Bye-bye, Bama! By now you probably heard the future SEC football annual rivalries, as they're calling them, have been leaked. So we know the three opponents that LSU will play on an annual basis under the new 9-game SEC schedule. And there is no Alabama. That, of course, would be the most noteworthy thing here. For LSU, their three permanent opponents are Ole Miss, Arkansas, and Texas A&M. If you want to see the entire grid, we've got it up at all the LouisianaSports.net and 104.5 ESPN social medias. And the article is up as well at LouisianaSports.net. But Ole Miss, Arkansas, Texas A&M are the three permanent opponents that LSU will play, or annual rivalries, as they're calling them now. If you're not familiar how it's going to work, just very quickly, I'm sure many of you are, but if you're not familiar how the scheduling will work. So starting in 2026, next football season, each team will have three annual rivalry games, three annual opponents. And then you'll play 6 other games in the league. And then the following year, you'll play the other 6 teams that you didn't play. Then after that, you'll go back to the first 6 and flip the home and away. And then the second 6 flip home and away. I don't know if that makes sense. But effectively, you'll play your 3, then 6 more. The 6 you don't play, you'll play the next year along with your 3 permanent opponents. Next season will be fascinating for LSU because they do have Clemson coming to Baton Rouge. So remember, with an uneven number, half of the league will play 5 home league games, and half the league will play 5 road league games. Will LSU get 5 home SEC games in a year where they're also going to play Clemson in Baton Rouge? That remains to be seen. I would assume not, but we'll find out on Tuesday. So remember, what we're going to find out with the schedule on Tuesday is who LSU and all 16 teams' opponents will be next year. We're not going to have the schedule. They'll release the schedule in December during the schedule release, but we will know the opponents. So we'll know the 9 SEC opponents that LSU will play in 2026, and based on that, you could start to put out the future schedules for the next 4 years and know what it's going to look like. Obviously, the big question here, the big issue is no Alabama, but also no Florida and no Auburn, no Mississippi State. When you talk about the teams that LSU's played the most in its history, it's Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Tulane, Alabama are in that mix. And so a lot of your most commonly held opponents you're not going to face on an annual basis anymore. So I look at it as a plus. For me, I look and say, if the objective is get to the college football playoff, what's the most navigable path that you have? Understanding that when you play 9 SEC games and a Power 4 non-conference, nobody is going to have an quote-unquote easy slate. There may be years where things happen cyclically, right? There may be a year where last year Mississippi State was 2-10. They were winless in the SEC. Kentucky was a 1-win SEC team. Like that can happen. There can also be years where Mississippi State has Dak Prescott and they go 10-2. Their Ole Miss historically is a doormat. Under Lane Kiffin, They had their first ever 10-win regular season in program history. So they're a little bit of an uptick inflection point. But you look and say, okay, what teams historically invest in their program to be good consistently? Well, Alabama and Florida and Auburn are in that number. Mississippi State and Ole Miss and Missouri and programs like that aren't. So when you look at LSU drawing Ole Miss, Arkansas, and Texas A&M, who's not been able to get out of that rut of 8-4, Arkansas, who's about to fire their coach, and Ole Miss, who just historically doesn't sustain success, I think it's a good draw for LSU. You may ask why Alabama and LSU aren't going to play every year. Well, it's pretty clear that Alabama was lobbying not to play that game, not because they didn't want LSU on the schedule, but because they were looking for a fair and equitable schedule. You knew Alabama was going to play Auburn, and you knew Alabama was going to play Tennessee. And there was just no way, we talked about this forever, there was no way the league was going to saddle Alabama with Auburn, Tennessee, and LSU. It would have been the most brutal slate in the conference. And they weren't going to do that to anyone, let alone Alabama. So they didn't. I looked at that. The other things that I was interested in as I looked through this were the contenders. Like, what did Georgia draw? Well, Georgia we knew was going to play Auburn and Florida. Those were a certainty. Well, their third game was South Carolina, a team that at times has had periods of success. Good team a year ago. They had a couple of 11-win seasons under Steve Spurrier, but a team that really hasn't sustained success historically. I looked at Texas. Texas plays Arkansas, A&M, Oklahoma. I think that's really an interesting one as well. To see, you knew Texas was going to play Oklahoma and Texas A&M. Arkansas was the third one that they drew. Oklahoma, I thought was interesting. Oklahoma certainly could have drawn all their old Big 12 foes. They could have drawn Texas, Texas A&M, Missouri. Instead, Oklahoma's playing Texas, Missouri, and Ole Miss. Missouri is the one that drew all their former conference opponents, with Arkansas, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma as their permanent opponents. So I think all things considered, this is about as good a draw, top to bottom in the league, as you could have hoped for. We are getting closer to some semblance of balance and equitable scheduling across the league, which is what you want. I don't love the annual opponents. I think it's stupid and unnecessary, but I'm also coming from a position as a guy who covers, went to, cheers for a school that doesn't have a Texas A&M, and a Ole Miss, Mississippi State, a Florida, Georgia, a Georgia, Auburn. Like, that just doesn't exist here. We have great rivalry games at LSU, but and great games in series that have been played for a long time. But there isn't one that everyone unanimously agrees on, like Bama, Auburn. You understand that. Like, LSU doesn't have one of those. So how does it work out to where everyone has as equitable a slate as possible? I think this is probably how it has to look. So I think all things considered, they did pretty well. Tennessee probably got the best draw. They play Alabama without Saban, but their other two games are Vandy and Kentucky. So Tennessee probably got away with the best draw of anybody in the league. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Muse will do Tigers and the Pros. Gordon McKernan will be with us at the top of hour number 3. Ross Jackson will be here as well. We're glad you're with us on AFR.
After further review,
I want you to go to DuplessisBuilders.net. If you're thinking of buying a pool or ever thought of building a pool, go to DuplessisBuilders.net. Get out your phone, go to the website, do it right now, DuplessisBuilders.net. I'm going to tell you why. Because they have a new function on the website where you can pick your pool at the website. And yes, at Duplessis Builders, they will build a beautiful custom pool for you. But if you're not in the market for a six-figure beautiful custom pool, they have other options where you can go choose. You could pick it all online, where you can choose your design options, and boom, you could spit out an affordable pool. So no matter your budget, they have options. They have financing options as well. Yes, they will build you the big, beautiful custom pool over at DuplessisBuilders.net, but they have options for anybody who wants a pool with any budget. So check them out online at DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Wrapping up hour number 2, presented by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, door, siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Gordon McKernan in about 10 minutes from right now. Right now, Muso as Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, let's start with Grant Delpit because he had himself a whale of a day in the Browns' upset victory over Green Bay. 9 total tackles. That was second on the team. 1 of those were for a loss. He had a pass defense and an interception that he returned for 25 yards. He was all over the field and a massive, massive part of that huge win for the Cleveland Browns. Shout out, Grant Delpit. The big matchup everybody wanted to see, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Well, Jets got the better of it on the scoreboard and as well in the stat sheet. 5 receptions for 75 yards, a long of 36 for Jefferson in that game. You flip it over to the other side, Jamar, 5 receptions, 50 yards. He also lost a fumble in the ball game. Neither of them found the end zone. Jamar Chase also had a tackle because Jake Browning threw 2 interceptions. Patrick Queen, all over the field for Pittsburgh, leading tackler on the day, 10 of them, 1 for a loss. Also, 2 passes defensed in that ball game. And then a hat tip to his former teammate, Kayvon Chason, on the other side. 3 frog in the throat. 3 tackles, a TFL, and 2 hits on the quarterback.
Paul, you heard that? Frog in the throat.
It was. I mean,
yeah, right.
That's
frog in the throat.
That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
6 stops for Devin White, 2 for a loss, and a hit on the quarterback.
Conveniently
second
at
leading tackler
right, Paulie?
for the Raiders. He really seems to be settling in over there in Vegas. Fired up for Devin White for that as well, man. And last but not least, Alex Bregman went 2 for 3, both singles, did drive in a run, and also drew 2 walks. Big day for him in a loss for Boston. That's Tigers in the pros.
Maybe we get him a bottle of Evermore, Paulie.
That could help.
Keep him hydrated over there. Clear the throat from all that smoke's got him coughing over there.
He'll probably need it.
He'll need it.
I ate a protein bar there in the break.
Is that what they call it?
It was still caught in my throat.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Protein bar laced with, well, you know by now. I mean, it's 454, of course. So drink some Evermore, EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com. You'll find it at great local retailers. I get pictures all the time on the text line. People out at different stores. Maybe you're in your car driving around, running your sales route, whatever it may be. On a hot day, staying hydrated, EVAMOR. I'm just grateful to everybody who has bypassed whatever their typical traditional bottled water option is. And you've said, you know what? I'm going to support a great local company, which is actually a better product as well. Do your research and you'll understand what I mean. EVAMOR, evermore.com. If they don't have it where you shop, ask them why not. Make them carry it. You can find retailers online that carry Evermore at evermore.com. You can order it online as well. EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com. Hydration for the win. It's Evermore. All right, it's after further review, y'all. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows. We're going to knock out a quick break. Ross Jackson had a pretty quick turnaround. He was there at Lumen Field in Seattle yesterday to watch that abomination. Hopped on a plane, was back in New Orleans today for Kellen Moore's media availability. Ross will be with us in 20 minutes to talk about it. When we come back, though, we'll visit with Gordon McKernan. Of course, Gordon's been a great partner of ours here on the show, but he's also an LSU booster. He's very locked in, and this is one of those weeks where Lane Kiffin had some comments earlier today about the money LSU spent, in particular on their secondary. We'll talk to Gordon a little bit about how some of those deals are put together. We'll do that when we come back after Sports Center here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Supper Club is closed today, y'all. But they'll be back open on Tuesday, ready to roll. Get your reservation. Hey, we got a weekend coming up where the Tigers play at 2:30 and they're on the road. So maybe, how about this for a Saturday night? You wake up Saturday, check off your honeydews. You get home early afternoon, watch the Tigers play at 2:30 against the Rebs. By the time that game finishes, shower up, get dressed, go on over to dinner, wrap it up at Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com, SupperClubBTR.com for your reservations. Remember, Tuesday to Saturday. They're closed Sunday, Monday, closed Sunday, Monday, closed Sunday, Monday, open Tuesday to Saturday, and you can always get your reservations at SupperClubBTR.com. Of course, the Tigers on the road this week, open date next week. Great time, if you haven't yet, to discover Supper Club.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parrishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs. From your hometown, parrishbuilt.com.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Friday's AFR from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Got Lit Light Installers, because everything looks better when it's lit. We'll see you Friday, 3 to 6 from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Got Lit Light Installers.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. For the second time in his 5 NFL seasons, the season ends early for 49ers defensive end Nick Bosa because of a torn ACL. He tore his ACL yesterday, needs season-ending surgery. The Niners defense and DC Robert Saleh will be even more dependent now on young players and new additions without Bosa. ESPN NFL analyst Marcus Spears.
It's devastating news, especially for Robert Saleh coming over his first year, and this defense was playing well. Obviously, Fred Warner is still there, but when you lose an edge rusher, we're seeing across the league how important these guys are towards winning, not just playing well. So it's just a super unfortunate situation for the 49ers and Bosa as they try to move forward.
Chargers running back Najee Harris will miss the rest of the season with an Achilles tear. Cowboys receiver CeeDee Lamb could miss 3 to 4 weeks with a high left ankle sprain. Bears corner Jalen Johnson will undergo surgery to repair a core.
Hey, Gordon, can you hear me? All right, perfect. Matt wanted you to check your text message. He has sent you something about asking about NIL deals between athletes and their apparel companies. Okay.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from downtown Baton Rouge.
Let's rock!
Hour 3 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Talk some Saints with Ross Jackson in about 15 minutes. He was in the Pacific Northwest yesterday to watch that, whatever that was called, with the Saints losing. I was there at Kellen Moore's press conference in Metairie today. So I'll talk to Ross coming up here in about 15 minutes from right now. Glad to welcome Gordon McKernan back onto the show. Of course, you can get him at Get Gordon on any social media platforms. Always an interesting time in the NIL space with LSU and Ole Miss playing this weekend. Good time to have that conversation because these are two teams that started on divergent paths with NIL and maybe kind of more mirroring each other now. G, how are you, man?
I'm doing great.
We appreciate you for making the time. It was interesting. Lane Kiffin earlier today made a comment that three of the highest paid defensive backs in the portal this year were Mansour Delane, A.J. Halsey, Tamarcus Cooley, and LSU got all three of them. How do you feel, as a guy who obviously has been very forthcoming, not only with NIL for your business, but also in supporting the collective, how do you feel about coaches sort of taking those conversations about NIL and the coffers with the collective stuff public?
Well, you know Lane, he's a professional troll. In those comments, he's certainly trolling us, right? And the two part of it is we're getting the best guys, we're buying them. And then secondly, like, oh, and by the way, they're finally starting to coach over there a little bit, right? So it's a double slap at us. And if you think back 2 years ago, didn't Ole Miss have the most expensive roster in terms of what they tried to go all in for that 1 year?
They did last year
to win it all. So it's interesting that he's taking a shot at us for what we spent when the year before, when they just, blew out the coffers, so to speak. But it's just part of the game now. But, you want to be careful getting into a battle of wits, kind of like from Princess Bride with Lane Kiffin, because it usually doesn't end well. So
marriage is what brings us together to that great
That's
movie.
right.
What
That's
a great reference.
Right.
Isn't that
great?
But it's interesting, G, because like when Brian Kelly and Lane Kiffin, they got hired the same year, and they both took very different paths, right? Lane was the portal king. Kelly was, we're going to build through the high school ranks, supplement through the portal. Like, you've obviously had a lot of knowledge of how all this has worked with the collective and everything behind the scenes from the beginning. At what point do you agree that LSU and Ole Miss are sort of taking divergent paths now?
They certainly did for a while, and BK, to his credit, recognized that while traditionally it works to build it through the high schools, it had all changed. And I give him credit for changing some of his philosophy and his processes in order to meet the new dynamic that exists out there, and he's doing that. And so for him to go out and really attack the portal and beat Lane and others at that game with some good donations by donors in the collective. My hat's off to him, and you're seeing it on the field, and that's why Lane is taking these shots, right? He wasn't taking these shots at us last year because he recognizes we're fundamentally a different team this year.
When do you think that changed for Kelly? Was there a moment where you think that changed for Kelly?
Man, that's a great question. I'd love to ask him that. I'll remember to ask him that if you remind me. I don't know, but it's evident. I think last season he was, I don't want to say floundering through the season, but man, we just seemed like we were neutral a lot. And I think he recognized I don't have the horses to compete. He just didn't on defense particularly.
Gee, I was told the roster last year, LSU spent about $5.5 million. I don't know if you know a different number, but I was told that number was about $5.5 million last year. And Kelly has said this year it's north of 18. I mean,
yeah, you're seeing why on the field, right?
It's pretty evident, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is. It doesn't matter if you're professional basketball, football, wherever now. I mean, you can be the best in the world. You have the best facilities, but you still have to have the players. And I think you recognize that.
I'm sorry. Gordon McKernan's with us. You'll get him on Twitter, X, @GetGordon. Of course, go to getgordon.com. Court Table as well in Baton Rouge. It's another interesting part of this, G, is like there's obviously, everyone knows there's multiple ways that this has worked. There's the true NIL, the true third-party NIL, which you've done a great job with.
Right.
There's the collective fundraising. There's the revenue shares, high school NIL, which we talked about a bit last week. But when LSU needs to fundraise, say, for the collective, I know you've gotten those calls and you've made those donations. How does that work?
Yeah, well, I think it's like any fundraising you have to do, whether you're fundraising for a political race or you're fundraising to build a new gym at a high school or the YMCA wants to do something. You start from the top down, right? And you go to your big donors first, and you start ratcheting it down. And you try to energize the base below it, and then make it grassroots. And that's kind of what they did. But fortunately, there were just some donors that stepped in early and committed some money early, which allowed them to really push it out and do some matching donations. And BK came in there and did his part. So it's a collective, and I don't mean the collective, but a collective effort amongst lots of people. And you've got to do it. And what really, you'd rather, like any political fundraising, you'd rather have 1,000 people giving $1,000 and 2 guys giving $1 million or whatever that equals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
And that's what's starting to happen. Scott Woodward, to his credit, unveiled that and did that. So we did get a fair amount of money also from the everyday fan.
Would you get a call, like, for example, would you get a call saying, Gordon, we want to sign this player X and we need $100,000?
Yeah.
Or is it just hey, would you throw money in the pot to let us spend as we see fit?
All the above. All the above. It happens that we need money for the collective. Yesterday, phone calls. It goes on during the season. It goes on before the season. It is like a perpetual political campaign now, and they have to. I mean, you can never rest with what they have. That's the monster that has been created, and you have to feed that monster no matter what school you're at.
So there's the question then about donor fatigue. Like, is that real?
Yes, but it's not a big fatigue when you're 4-0 and you're number 3 or 4 in the country. It's a lot easier to. We do. You're right. We do need a little more. I
love the transparency. Gordon McKernan's with us. Go ahead.
You get tired, man. Winning cures a lot of ills.
But here, like, there are some really seminal changes that we're seeing right now. Like look at what's going on in Gainesville. Billy Napier, it seems like he's on his way out, but I think that athletic department is going to have to make a decision. Like, do you fundraise to buy out your coach and hire another coach, or do you spend the money on your roster? Like, where do you fall in? Like, do you think we're going to see decisions made differently on firing coaches because of this?
Yeah, I do, and not every institution has the ability, like Texas A&M, they did with Jimbo, to write those big checks, right? And they're handicapped. And so a Napier who may have a $70 million buyout, they may just have to struggle along till they can get it a little bit better, down to 40 or 50, and then work out a deal payment over years. So it's dangerous time for a program to invest that much money in the coach. And also you're taking away $20 million from your athletic budget, and you have to pay all the players. You certainly need people who are watching the dollars and figuring that out. I don't have an answer. I don't know how some of these schools are going to do it, to be honest.
You know what I'll be so interested to see is if they start to structure deals differently for coaches. I don't know if they can.
Yeah.
Because would a coach leave their current job to take a job without the security blanket of a buyout? The safety net, if this doesn't go well, I'm still going to get paid. I mean, I don't have the answer to that, but that's a fascinating thing to see if some of these deals get done differently.
Yeah, you're right. The pendulum may swing back a little bit more to the institution and away from the coach at some point because of these things. And that will be interesting to see. But I can't imagine it gets much greater than that, than where we are, the $10 million, $100 million, $10 million, 10-year, $100 million contracts that we're seeing left and right now. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
You saw LSU's not going to play Bama every year. How you feel about that?
Well, with the present coach over there, that disappoints me a little bit. With the former coach there, I would have liked every third year probably.
Yeah, I know, man. Someone tweeted me earlier today, said, we had to sit there and suffer through Nick's entire dynasty, and now he's gone, and they don't have to play him every year.
I know, it's just so different. The swagger and the intensity and all that. It's a different Alabama football program now.
It'll be interesting to see. They go to Georgia this
week.
Guy,
what he can do, right?
He's the best ever. I mean, when you're the best ever, what you do, you obviously make a difference. Hey, before you run, what do you think about LSU at Ole Miss this weekend? You got a thought on the game?
I like it. I think we're coming into it, and we talked about it a little bit last week. We're debating whether it was a nothing burger or something burger, or what's on the burger. And obviously, it was Southeastern, not the best of opponents, but still watching some things start to unfold. And as I mentioned last week, Nuss being able to really start driving the ball again. I think you started seeing some evidence of that. His ab is getting a lot better, and just wanting to get through this week, hopefully get the win, and then rest him. I mean, he's so competitive. He's so into it. He just never wants to quit throwing. He wants to push himself, even when he has a little tweak, and it won't let it heal as well. But you start seeing some of the old Nuss coming back, I thought.
LSU's a 2.5-point underdog at Ole Miss. I don't know if you're a betting man, but like that's one where I go, ooh. I mean, you could give me LSU, that defense, spot me 2.5 with Nussmeier. Yeah, against a guy who was playing quarterback at Ferris State a year ago. I think I like the Tigers this weekend.
I do too. I watched a good part of that Ole Miss game, and they're good, but I certainly think with our defense and with our offense coming back, the 2.5 is a pretty good bet. And I do like to bet. Every day I bet on my law firm and my clients and the craziness that happens there sometimes. So a little football betting for me is pretty easy.
I love it. He's Gordon McKernan. He's on Twitter, X, all the social media platforms at GetGordon. Make sure you follow there. Make sure you go check out the YouTube channel as well with all the great content with members of the G team. And if you've not been yet, get you behind over to Court to Table on Burbank. Yep. I was there for lunch one day last week, Gordon. I was talking to Brian Neal, and he said, man, it has been just bonkers around game days, and really with school being back in, a lot of the events over there as well, man. So it sounds like it's going awesome.
It is. Thank you. And to all your viewers out there and listeners, please get by, give it a shot. Great food, great experience. You can bring your family, you can bring a date, you can go with a group from the office. So Court to Table over there on Burbank.
Open for lunch too. So every time I go, I try to have something. I want to try everything on the menu. So I eat something different every time. And
give me your feedback, good and bad.
So I want to hear it. I had the smash burger last week. First time I had that.
That's great.
It was delicious. Still my favorite. My favorite thing I've eaten so far is the salmon. Salmon was absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
Well, good.
Loved it.
Well, I saw you in the boat pictures this summer, and you were pretty swollen flex. So I understand it now. Eating salmon, see, I'm eating the bad food, and you're eating the good stuff, and then you're all jacked up on a boat. I get it.
You know what? Sometimes it takes getting to 42 years old, looking at yourself in the mirror, going, you know what? Going a bad direction, man. Let's turn this boat around. But
you're looking great, man.
Thanks,
you're
man.
doing great.
I appreciate it. Gordon McKernan, hey, man, appreciate the time. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
That's Gordon McKernan. You'll get him on all the socials at GetGordon. It's great perspective. I mean, he's at the forefront of everything LSU's doing in this era. He's going to give me 10 minutes. I'll pick his brain for 10 minutes every week. He'll let me. All right, it's after further review, y'all. Let me knock out a quick break. Monday show is brought to you by Relief Windows. When we come back, Ross Jackson he was at Lumen Field yesterday. He's back in New Orleans. Was there for Kellen Moore's press conference today. How do you pick up the pieces after this? Do that next on AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about our friends over at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Yes, they do ED treatments, but it's not just ED treatments. Hormone replacement therapy is a massive part of what they do, but they also have non-pharmaceutical options for so many things that affect the way we feel. Maybe you're struggling with some lingering or chronic pain. Maybe it's trying to come back from a surgery or some injury that can accelerate healing. They have options for that. Maybe it's things like you have trouble sleeping at night, or you have trouble quieting your mind. Maybe it's anxiety. Maybe it's gut issues. There's so many natural options and alternate therapy options that are not pharmaceutical drugs that Goodwood can help. Just go for that consultation. You want to feel your best? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help. Lowest prices, never any contracts. Listen, lowest prices, never any contracts. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
When it comes to pipe fabrication, time is money. And at River Parish Contractors, we make every second count. Our 36,000 square foot shop is ready to take on your projects right now. With experienced welders, precise fittings, and fast turnarounds you can trust. Whether it's a single custom spool or a full-scale run, we have the capacity and the skill to keep your job on schedule. Call us or visit rpcontractors.com for your quote. That's rpcontractors.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. There goes my Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Pearl Jam, and the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona, inviting you to join us for Friday's AFR from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Got Lit Light Installers, because everything looks better when it's lit. We'll see you Friday, 3 to 6 from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Got Lit Light Installers.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app. 90s.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Going to get to Ross Jackson here just a quick second. Hey, I want to remind you about something that we launched this year. And I understand there's people who listen on ESPN Lafayette, ESPN Lake Charles, ESPN Alexandria. But this is open to anybody, regardless of where, how you're listening, watching. At 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and our sister station, Eagle 98.1, this year we've introduced what we call the Heart of the Game Award. So it's an award where we're going to honor and recognize high school student athletes each month, one boy and one girl. And the winner will receive a $250 gift card, a custom award. They'll get spotlighted. It's presented by First American Bank and Trust, and you can get more info at 1045ESPN.com. It's on the flip or on the homepage, 1045ESPN.com. It doesn't matter the sport. There's one boy and one girl. The nominations will come in, then voting will be open on the website, and every month we'll have a new winner. So again, you go to 1045ESPN.com. You hit the Heart of the Game Award right there on the flipper, and you'll see where it says Nominate Here. You just hit the little tab to nominate, and you'll see the form where you can go. Sorry, if you're what? Sorry, that went a pop-up ad right there. But there's no pop-ups on LouisianaSports.net, but there are on 1045ESPN.com. Anyway, you'll see the Heart of the Game Award right there where you can nominate very easily. So anyway, and then we'll open it up for voting. So 1045ESPN.com is the Heart of the Game Award. All right, the New Orleans Saints, I don't know. At least I was watching it from my couch. Ross Jackson had to watch it from the stadium. He's with us now. Hey, man, how are you?
Hey, dude, doing great. Glad to be here with you and glad to not be at that anymore.
Yeah. At least the weather looked beautiful in the Pacific Northwest. Puget Sound, some of the aerial shots, that looked awesome. I mean, that really looked great. I mean, that's a silver lining maybe? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like, Seattle's one of my favorite places in the world. Really, the Pacific Northwest is one of my favorite parts of the country. And so anytime I get the opportunity to go up there, it's always a blast. So
good.
Nothing. You won't hear me complain.
Good. Okay. You've seen this team for the entirety of this team's existence. You've been at all the practice and the camps and every availability and all the stuff. Did you have any signs that this was coming? Not a loss, but this manner of loss?
No, I didn't. I mean, look, I didn't, like you said, there's a difference between saying, yes, I did expect this team to lose, and I expected them to lose handily. I think I predicted them to have like a 10-point loss in this matchup. But I did not predict 44-13. I did not predict going into halftime with a 32-point deficit for the first time since 2005 and just barely evading the absolute worst deficit that they have gone into a halftime with at 35 points, which they were very dangerously close to doing at the end of the first half there. And so I've seen all the warning signs that said, hey, this team's not finished. This team's not going to be a competitive team in 2025. although it will have aspirations of being competitive. But I did not have the warning signs of a game like that against a middle-class team like the Seattle Seahawks. Maybe Buffalo next week, but not the Seahawks.
What about the game in particular was the most alarming?
It was one of those rare games where a first quarter is Murphy's Law. Everything that can go wrong did go wrong in that first quarter. And it was all three phases. I mean, it was a failure at every level of this team. And that's not me trying to be harsh. That's not me fishing for, clout and laughs. Like, that's the reality of the situation. That was a bad football game. One of the worst football games that I've seen. And one of the worst ones that I've seen from this team. And it was a failure at all three levels. The offense could not move the football. They have one of the worst, if not the worst. I think it might not even be close. It might be the worst special teams unit in the NFL right now in terms of coverage. And the defense didn't really leave or really prove any level of progress from the previous 2 weeks. I mean, you look at the first drive that, Brian Brzee misses a sack that turns into a 29-yard explosive play. Then you get the unnecessary roughness on what would have been a third down stop to get off the field. That turns into a touchdown the very next play. Look, we've seen that all three games now. We've seen some version of that in all three games so far. So I think the other thing that was so alarming was just, again, not just the fact that it all piled on in the first quarter, which was insane to watch, but the fact that it was a lot of the same old stuff that we have seen, not just from the other two games from this year, but it feels like we're still talking about a lot of the same discipline issues, penalty issues, third down issues, pressure issues that we've been talking about for the past couple of years now.
Yeah. You were very present in Kellen Moore's face during Super Bowl week, like every day during that whole week. So you have seen and heard and listened to everything Kellen Moore has said from the week leading up to his hiring through now. Have you noticed any changes with him one way or another?
I've seen some. Most of it is his word choice, because his demeanor very rarely strays from Kellen Moore as we know Kellen Moore to be. He didn't seem, like he was ready to light into anybody or anything like that, which maybe that's what this team needs. And so maybe there's something to that, but he didn't seem like he kind of showed up in any kind of distress or, high tension or anything like that. But I think that there were some things that were very interesting that he mentioned. I mean, I asked him about how do you go about ensuring and exercising accountability, and how do you kind of balance all the different kinds of accountability, right? There's discipline in terms of sitting players and benching players. There's also the opportunity to say, look, they believe in you and try to put you out there to see if you can do better next time or whatever it might be. And one of the things that he said was, they're going to try to find the players that can play that way. And if they don't have the players that can play the way that they need to in the building, then they're going to find those players. And so I thought that was something that stood out. Today, we were kind of peppering him with questions about whether or not he's looking at simplifying the offense and things like that. And one of the things that he kind of, alluded to is this idea of there's a standard and that they want to see these players operate at that standard. So it's really just kind of little, it's more his word choice, and it's more his, the way that he explains what the process is and maybe how the process shifts and changes, but his demeanor does not shift. And I don't know yet if that's a good thing or a bad thing at this point. Because at some point you kind of wonder, like, okay, do you need to be able to be a guy that can get into the face of a player and say, we need you disciplined, we need you to work, or whatever it might be? I'm not a coach. But,
right.
You kind of wonder, like, do you need that demeanor at some point? And if that becomes necessary, is he able to do that? And if not, who will?
He's on Twitter at Ross Jackson Nola. Give him a follow there. Of course, Saints writer at LouisianaSports.net, the Locked On Saints podcast, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Interesting time to lock in and subscribe to Ross there and read his stuff as well. I want to ask this question, Ross, and I do so respectful of the spot that Kellen Moore holds, but I think it's a fair question. I can't help but wonder if the players respect him. I don't doubt that they like him, but when you continue to see the undisciplined penalties and some of those things not get corrected, that's when I go, what you were just alluding to there, like, is it a substitute teacher feel of sorts? What's your read on that? I mean, you're around them all the time.
Yeah, I mean, every impression that we get is that there is mutual respect across. But again, like, there's a difference between what we see and then what actually happens out on the field. And at some point you wonder too, and this is kind of a little bit of the conversation of the guys, like you go back to, Bill Belichick and others, about the personal drive to uphold the standard. And so you almost wonder if you're talking about, a respect for the coach, and sometimes situations where you have a respect for yourself to go out there and operate and do those things. And I do think that there is every display of that right now, but I don't know how strong it is in terms of its ability to be able to weather what is a pretty tumultuous storm for this team right now. Like, we expected this to be a multi-year process. We expected this to be a bumpy road as things began. But obviously, when you have a loss like you just had against Seattle, you have an opportunity here. This is either a wake-up call for everybody, or you are effectively signing yourself up for what this experience is if you're accepting that play. It's okay for things to be unacceptable as a coach. It's okay for things to be unacceptable as a player, as long as you're getting away from it. And so the answer to your question right now is, I believe, yes, that there is respect there. I don't think that that's an issue, but at the same time, we might really be about to learn the answer to that question more than we have been able to over the course of the first 3 games.
How much better is this team with a healthy Chase Young, Trevor Penning, Talia Seifuaga?
I think they're marginally better. I think they're competitive. But I think that there are deficiencies across the roster that are bigger than any individual player, that come down to the entire group and the ability to be able to play together and play selflessly and all these other pieces. I think that all of those things matter too. So, yes, you can have the players on the field that are going to give you a chance to make the plays, but just because you have the players doesn't necessarily mean that you get to play. Just like if you have the coaches doesn't mean you get the coaching, right?
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of it is that, your team is better when you have the guys out there that your system is built to feature and that your system is built to support and be run by and be utilized by or to utilize. But I mean, how much better they are, I think we're splitting hairs, because we're still talking about a multi-year process for this team that's got a lot of things to kind of build up over the course of its roster, not the least of which being its depth, so that when those players aren't available, they can still stay afloat. As of right now, I think if you're without any of the top player at any single position, you're rudderless at this point, and that's just kind of what the roster feels like. So yeah, they're better from a player standpoint, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're better from an execution standpoint. I think that's a larger conversation that comes down to what the game plan is, how it's being utilized, when the decisions are being made, who those players are, how they're executing it, and then not the least of which, of course, simply being like what the actual game situation is for them. So I think that they're better, but I don't know that they necessarily completely turn a corner with those guys back.
Before you go, Tyler Shuck made his debut. It was 3 inglorious snaps. Are we any closer to seeing an elongated outing for Tyler Shuck?
I don't think so. I don't think that we're closer than what was already, always possible, which is that they could go to him at any point. It still has always felt like, Spencer Rattler has not been a part of the problem for New Orleans. I think he's got some throws from that Sunday game that he wants back, not the least of which being that 4th down and 4th throw, but the 4th down and 4th throw was either going to be an incompletion and then they take over from the line of scrimmage, or you give somebody an opportunity. But I think that there's a lot of stuff that needs to be worked out around that quarterback position too. So I don't think that they're going to compound themselves with so much left to work on around that position by looking at potentially making an early or extended change at the quarterback position as well at this time. But I still firmly believe that at some point we will see Tyler Shuck during this season. I don't know necessarily, though, that they're any closer to making that, because Spencer Rattler has not been part of the problem for this team through its first 3 games.
Make sure you subscribe, podcast or YouTube, to Locked On Saints, and you can read Ross at LouisianaSports.net. Always free, LouisianaSports.net. Get him on X at Ross Jackson Nola. And thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you, bud. You take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty. That is Ross Jackson. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com, SouthPointVW.com. Say new and certified pre-owned because, listen, if you're looking for a brand new Volkswagen, great. They're Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. Better inventory, better deals, better prices than everybody. All the IIHS top safety picks, style, feel, performance of luxury, the things that tell you every single day. When you get in, you see all the technology in the dash, so much of it that comes standard on all different makes, all different models of Volkswagen, and tons of different luxury features as well that you could add on. But they've got all the style, feel, performance of luxury without the cost, and manufactured in the US of A at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. So you're supporting American jobs as well. You don't have to worry about tariffs. And they're Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. It's South Point Volkswagen. So shop them online. Great certified pre-owned selection as well. All different makes and models. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right, y'all. It is After Further Review. Thanks to Ross for being here. Gordon McKernan was here. Peter Burns was here last hour as well. If you missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org. Golf.breck.org. YouTube, podcast. If you want audio, video, it's all there for you. Just search AFR LSU or AFR Saints. Or if you want the full show, search After Further Review. Pretty easy. Okay, Jimmy will be here for Otter Locks in about a dozen minutes. We'll knock out a break, come back. Muse, Paulie, and I every week. We come back on Monday. We give you 3 college football takeaways from the college football weekend. We'll do that next on AFR.
AFR.
All right, the deadline has come and gone to submit your billboard for the Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys Billboard Design Contest. So we'll look forward to another promotion and telling you who the winners are real soon. Good luck to everybody. Of course, chance to win up to $2,000 in prizes, donation to a charity of your choice, and, of course, the opportunity to see your billboard around town. But more importantly than designing a billboard, more importantly than all the NIL investment that Gordon has made for the Tigers and a lot of other programs, more importantly than all of that is the fact that for 30 years, Gordon and his team have helped injured people in our state. If you're in an accident and you're injured and it's not your fault, you need to get what you're entitled to allow you to get back to your quality of life. Gordon and his team can help you do that. Don't go it alone. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. You can read testimonials. You can speak to someone if you want to give them a buzz, 888-8888. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
All right, rolling along here, 5 o'clock hour. We always appreciate Brandon Holly and the gang over at Relief Windows. They're just the best. Oh, you can go get a whole bunch of estimates if you want. You're just trying to find who's going to give you the cheapest price on windows. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be Relief Windows. It's just not what they do. It's a premium product. It's the best customer service, the best installers, the best measure techs, the best service after the sale. You want the best? You call Relief Windows, 288-8138. Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. All right, let's hit our college football takeaways. Hit it, music.
Another week in the books. What did we learn about the landscape of college football?
All right, Muse, start us off there.
Yeah, it's Ricky Collins time in Syracuse. Steve Angeli, this was really tough to watch, man. Steve Angeli came in leading the ACC in passing. He was having a great game against Clemson. Goes down with a non-contact injury. It's a torn Achilles. He is out for the rest of the year. So Ricky Collins will get his first start in college against Duke next week. Came in, led a touchdown drive. It was a one-play drive, but led one, threw for 34 yards. We'll see if he can thrive in that offense, man. Plenty of quarterbacks have as of late. Oops. There we go.
Got it.
Don't overlook Missouri. The Tigers beat South Carolina 29-20 over the weekend. Quarterback Bo Pirbula threw for 171 and a touchdown. He ranks 12th nationally in QBR with 83.8, and he's completing 72% of his passes on the season. And how about Ahmad Hardy, the transfer running back? He has totaled at least 100 yards in all 4 games for the Tigers this season.
I'm going to overlook Missouri.
Hardy's a beast, though,
I'm going to overlook
that
Missouri.
guy's awesome.
Play somebody good. Texas Tech, best team in the Big 12. By the way, it was a 10-3 ball game going into the fourth quarter, and Will Hammond, who was the backup, who went in for Texas Tech, sparked the offense. They end up blowing out Utah 34-10. All that money they spent buying their way to relevance is another team we've all talked about. Texas Tech, better start paying attention to them. Someone from the Big 12 is getting in the college football playoff. Might just be the Red Raiders.
You know, with all the hot seat talk in college football, Billy Napier, Mike Gundy, I think it's over for Luke Fickell in Wisconsin as well. That was an ugly scene, Camp Randall. They lost 27-10 to Maryland. We're down 20-0 at the half. There were boos. There were fire Fickell chants. He's 15-15 now in 2+ seasons up there in Madison, and it's only going to get tougher. They go to Michigan this week. Still have games against Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, and Illinois on the schedule. He got the dreaded vote of confidence from the AD after that game, but I think he's on borrowed time up there in Madison, Wisconsin. Luke Fickell on his way out.
Another coach probably on the way out is Mike Gundy. We mentioned it a couple weeks ago when they lost to Oregon, but over the weekend they lost to a 1-2 Tulsa team at home after coming off of a bye. That's awful. So it does feel like the end for Gundy. He was 3-9 last season, nearly fired then, but Oklahoma State, he's a hard restart.
Okay.
Hey, the mouse stuck. Sorry.
Got it. Indiana. What?
Oh.
What? I mean, I got that one dead wrong. I had Illinois winning the game. Clearly, I'm an idiot. 63-10. 63-10. Indiana's previous most lopsided win against a top 5 opponent or top 10 opponent. They beat number 9 Ohio State 31-10 in 1987.
That was a while ago.
You sure weren't even alive.
I wasn't.
I was 5 years old.
I wasn't thought of in 1987.
63-10. What the hell happened? 63-10.
Maybe
Let's go, Hoosiers.
Maybe this year's Indiana in the Big Ten is Indiana again.
Break up the Hoosiers, 63-10. All right, I'm watching you.
I think TCU has the best quarterback in the Big 12. I've been very impressed with Josh Hoover. And look, that was a conversation all throughout the offseason that they had the best quarterback play in the nation. I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but I think Hoover's been the best so far. 379, 5 touchdowns against SMU, who was in the playoff a year ago. He's already at 1,000 yards. He threw for 4,000 a year ago, or just shy of it. But the big thing this year, he's cut the turnovers down, just the 1 interception as opposed to double digits a year ago. He's going to pace that TCU club to what should be could be a pretty special season.
How about Arch Manning showing a little emotion and with a touchdown run? It was against Sam Houston, so that's what everybody's talking about. He had his best game. They shut out Sam Houston 55-0, but everybody's talking about the touchdown, showing a little emotion, getting in the face of the defender. We're watching. I'm showing it right here. Are you good with this? You not? What you think?
Yeah, I don't care.
I thought it was cringe.
I don't care at all. I mean, it's Sam Houston. I don't care. Nebraska. That's now 28 consecutive games they've lost to ranked opponents. 28. It doesn't matter who your coach is. It doesn't matter how much money you spent on a quarterback who thinks he's Patrick Mahomes. Like, literally, he's trying to be Patrick Mahomes. From the haircut, the way he walks, his jersey number, all of it. Nebraska. What are you doing? An honorable mention, Vanderbilt. They scored 70.
They did.
Vanderbilt scored 70.
Revenge game.
I get it was Georgia State, but they scored 70. The Vanderbilt... Let me say this again. The Vanderbilt Commodores scored 70 points in a football game. New era. What do they call it? The North End in Nashville? Is that what they call it? Where Vanderbilt is? The North
I have
End?
no idea.
Yeah. I think they call it the North End. Anyway, we'll be up there in a few weeks for the game.
Ask them.
I'm sure they'll have signs everywhere. Welcome to the North End. Anyway, all right, thank you. You can kill the music. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. Thinking about refractive procedure. You want to ditch the contacts and glasses forever. The only call you need to make is to the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020. Just go for that consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson. It will change your life. There are not many decisions you can make that will literally change your life. This is one of them. Give yourself the gift of sight. Quit fooling around with contacts and glasses. Stop grabbing for those readers. Stop shoving contact lens in your eye. Be honest. You fall asleep with them contact lens in your eye. You be honest. You forget to take them out at night, or you're just lazy and you forget to, and you just don't do it. And then you take them out before you wash your hands, don't you? Trust me, I lived that life for decades. Not no more. LASIK changed my life. Dr. Blake can do the same for you. 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com. All right, y'all. Been a really good show. Appreciate you for hanging out with us here. Muse, Paulie, and I did give you what we learned from the weekend in hour one. Those are our college football takeaways. Gordon was here. Ross Jackson was here. Peter Burns was here. Tons of good stuff. We appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. We got one segment to go. Jimmy will be here for Otta Locks. We do have a little Monday night football game tonight. Got a little action on that. We'll see what the Otters got. Otta Locks to wrap up the show next here on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Of course, Watermark, we're getting close to October. And as we get into October, I'm going to be able to share a lot of the really fun things that they're going to be doing as they celebrate the centennial of that building. The Watermark Baton Rouge is the original Louisiana National Bank building. It was the first ever high-rise in downtown Baton Rouge. I mean, 100 years ago. 1925 is when that structure went up. And so in October, they're celebrating the centennial of the building. I'm really excited to be able to tell you much more about Watermark Baton Rouge and that great building and all the fun things they're going to have to commemorate it. But, man, if you're looking to host an event in downtown Baton Rouge, it's just gorgeous. From their great meeting space to the board, they hollowed out the bank vaults in the basement to put these boardroom tables in there where you can have private dining or board meetings. Of course, the Gregory there in the lobby is awesome. Great place to have a cocktail or a glass of wine. It's Watermark Baton Rouge.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Parish Construction and Roofing. This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs. From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. One thing left to do, let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Ooh, Otter, how are you?
Good, brother. How about you?
Licking my wounds after Saturday, man. I had a bloodbath on Saturday. It was not good. Not good at all.
Tough beats or
well, some of them I know that you were on it. Like Miami of Ohio was a really bad beat. I mean, there was just a lot of not good in there.
11 o'clock starts on Saturday.
Utah.
4 of them came down to some late fumbles out of nowhere. We know about Arkansas, Memphis.
Yes, Arkansas.
Miami, Ohio was inside the 30, just milking the clock, setting up for a short field goal attempt to win it. They fumbled.
I actually in-gamed Miami of Ohio plus 10, or Memphis plus 10.5. So thankfully that one hit for me. But it was not a great day on Saturday for your boys. So would love some redemption on Monday Night Football here.
Well, great matchup, but we're going to go with, a lot of people still have the odds makers have the highest power-rated team, and that's the Baltimore Ravens. We know about their meltdown against Buffalo on the first Sunday night. So looking for a little redemption here on prime time. So I'm glad we got the Giants and Jets out the way. They're only a combined 4-31 their last 35 on prime time. But anyway, let's keep putting them on. Well, it's number one media market. Okay. So,
I mean, what a gigantic pile of crap that game was last night. The Chiefs are so old and done, too. I mean, give me a break.
Russell Wilson is throwing the ball to the goalpost on 4th down, and he's throwing balls up for grabs on 1st down. I mean, he's backwards in the no. It's just, that was poo. So anyway, tonight, Detroit, we're going with Baltimore, man. Just a stronger team. Detroit did bounce back after that Green Bay struggle on the road and trounced Chicago. But I would just be a little surprised if Detroit can keep up with Baltimore. They're just a little bit better team at home, the whole thing. So I'm wondering about Detroit. Of course, the two coordinators, the center. We'll see. They've got a lot of pieces in place still, but it's a tough assignment for a dome team to go on the road and play on Monday night, minus a 4.5. I gave Hunt a little single-game parlay.
Saw that.
With Amon St. Brown of the Lions. Love that guy, man. Catches the ball, gets upfield, tough, and I would get him over 70 yards and a touchdown. So that's paying about 4-1 on DraftKings. Baltimore money line, Amon St. Brown over 70 yards and a touchdown. I got to add one play that we didn't get earlier, and that is Justin Verlander tonight. The Giants still trying to get into this last week of Major League Baseball season. And, man, he was a fade early. He was a joke, but 5 of his last 10, he's thrown shutouts. And so he's really been on a roll. Soft price here, $1.40, $1.45. Taking the Giants money line at home tonight.
All right. Giants on the money line. We like the Ravens laying 4.5 on Monday Night Football. And then that same game parlay, a money line play, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown over 70 receiving yards and a anytime touchdown, which pays out at plus 410. Let's go. I would love some of that action in my life. Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
We're at Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee, just off of Nicholson.
Fantastic. All right, Otter, thanks so much, man. Have a great one. Good luck. Thank you. We appreciate it. All right, it is after further review that Mike Anderson Seafood, actually not far from Rouse's, right there at Burbank and Lee. If you head down Lee toward Nicholson, Mike Anderson's on the left. But Rouse's, of course, there's 70 Rouse's locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama, and points in between, helping you cover the spread this football season. Whether you're tailgating, home gating, maybe tonight you're driving on home and you're going to watch Monday Night Football, how about you swing on into Rouse's? Plenty of wine and beer and whiskey. Great selection. Some meat to throw on the grill. Pop by the deli. Grab and go dinner options. Hot and boiled seafood kiosk. Or are you making groceries? Rouse's can help you do it all. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Rouse's. This feels like home. All right, y'all. Let's get do it for us. Muse, Paulie, appreciate it. Y'all have a great night. See you back here tomorrow at 3.
After further review.
And if you're driving that vehicle over to Rouse's, hopefully the tires on that vehicle came from Shawbills. Or maybe they're the factory tires because you bought the vehicle new and it's time for new tires. Well, get on by Shawbills because for more than almost 60 years now, Shawbills has sold Louisiana name brand tires at wholesale prices. And I always encourage you to go to the website, hit the promotions tab at the top of the page, ShawbillsTire.com, ShawbillsTire.com. Hit the promotions tab at the top of the page, and you'll see all of the deals that they have to offer because they work really hard to make sure that they get you the best tires on the road at the cheapest price possible. As a matter of fact, at Shawbills, they're fond of saying there's a tire at a price point for everyone because they work really hard. Sometimes that's combining the manufacturer's offer with their in-house offer. Use your Shawbills credit card. You always get a discount. It's Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills, we keep you rolling.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance, Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app. 90s country and beyond. 100.7 The Tiger.